Hi everyone, good morning. Let me know, guys, if you can see and hear me, all right, and see my screen as well. Good morning. Welcome to our Friday weekly Ask Me Any Stock session. All right, let me just know if you guys can see and hear me. Hi, good morning. We have hi Wasong, good morning. Good morning. Hi David, Jason, good morning as well. Good morning, Chester, Kitik, Esther, Feline. Okay, guys, welcome to the AMAS. All right, Ask Me Any Stock Friday weekly session. And today we'll be talking about the Singapore market, right? The Singapore market, and let's go to get started. So those of you who are new to this entire Friday weekly AMAS session, let me just share with you guys what exactly is this about. So this is about stocks, right? It's about stocks, and every Friday we talk about different markets, right? Today will be the Singapore market, last Friday US market, and we kind of like alternate between the Singapore and the US market, right? So next Friday we'll be back to the US market, but next Friday I will not be joining my team. Bervyn and Zee will be running the show because I'll be away on leave, all right? But today will be Singapore market, and in this AMAS session, how it works is this, right? I'll do a quick market outlook. We'll cover what are some of the factors that's affecting the market. You know, how is the market looking? Are we looking more bullish? Should we rush in to buy? Should we be careful? Should we maybe take some profit as they approach certain levels? That's exactly what we'll find out, right? And later we will go ahead, right, to go through the stocks that you guys are asking about, right? As the name of the show goes, right? Ask me any stock. So yeah, you can ask the stocks that you want. And today will be Singapore stocks. I know some of you are already typing in the chat, all right, the Singapore stocks that you want a quick opinion on. And we will do our best to cover these Singapore stocks, right? So do, give us some time as well, all right? And same thing, right? Our apologies if we cannot cover all the stocks because there's always like more than 50, 60 over stocks. Each time we cover, I think about 18 over stocks like that, all right? We try to cover a bit more, but if we are not able to cover yours, our apologies, all right? Hopefully you can join us the next time as well, all right? So that's what will happen. Ask me any stocks. You can ask the stocks that you want a quick opinion on. And when you do that later, right, what you want to do is that you want to just give us a bit of context regarding the stock, right? Like, what is it that you want to know about stock? Like, are you thinking about buying? Are you thinking about selling? Maybe you bought last year, or I mean, what's happening, right? So let us know so that when we advise you, we have a bit of context rather than just one name there, like DBS. Then like, what about DBS? Do you want to know, right? So give us a bit of context. I think that's where we'll prioritize your stock pick, all right, and maybe answer yours at a priority, all right, Ken? So thank you so much for joining us. Tyler, good to see you here. I think every Friday you are here as well. John, hi, Mifi, ST as well. Good morning. Good morning. Would it be okay, guys, if you can help us out right now? Help me to like and to share, or help me to like and share this video right now, or right, live on YouTube as well as on Facebook. Give us some love, some hearts. Hit the heart shape button as well. All right, that will really help out the channel as well. And hit the like and share, all right, so that when we go live in the future, you will not miss out. So thank you so much for all the hearts and love. Appreciate it. I can see all the hearts. I'm not too sure whether you guys can see this, but I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, good morning. And let's get started right now. All right, okay. Let's see, right? Good morning. Okay, so I know some of you are already typing in like C5TP Goldmine. No idea what stock is that, all right? But yeah, you can type the stock later. But let me get started right now and to get and share with you guys a little bit of myself and also my team. But just make sure that you stay all the way to the end, guys, because what happens is that at the end, we will, after going through like all the stocks that you guys are asking about, right? We will go through 3 Singapore stocks that we like, right? So me, my team, Bervyn and Zee will each share with you 1 Singapore stock each, so total 3, all right, that we like, and you want to put in your watch list, whereby there's some bullish signals coming up on my 1GT indicator, my strategy, and that's where you want to put in your watch list, right? So make sure you stay all the way to the end, all right? And that's where we share after going through your stocks. So let me just go ahead to introduce myself in case you're just scrolling through Facebook and YouTube, you have no idea who I am. My name is Joey, all right? Joey Choy, top tier reminder trader in Philip Securities. I've been doing this for more than a decade now, more than 15 years, or in fact, and I have this strategy I call the Want Good Trend strategy. And based on this strategy that I've been using for more than a decade now, right? I have this indicator, and that's what we'll use later as well to go ahead to dissect the stock that you're asking about, to analyze it, break it all down for you. And in a matter of seconds, we are able to get an opinion on your stocks that you ask in seconds, right? Whether is it to buy, to sell, is it bullish or bearish? And that's what we'll do. So I don't have time to talk about the entire strategy. So you want to find a bit more on the entire strategy, I'll just get my team to put the link in the chat. You can attend one of those free webinars that we have. Like maybe I think next week there's one webinar. Check it out, attend the webinar to find a bit more about the entire strategy. But today is just about your stocks, pump. We just do it and cover it one after another. No time to cover the whole strategy. All right, Ken? So attend a free webinar to understand more about the strategy. And that's pretty much what we'll be doing today. So I've with me as well today, and every AMAS session as well, my team. So let me just go to introduce Bervyn, who is here with me as well. One of the top brokers, advisors under me in Phillip Securities, have been with me for more than 4 to 5 years now, assisting our team with our portfolio management service as well. Also conducting our one-on-one session of our mentees, group coaching session as well. And Bervyn is also what we call a CFA chartered holder, right? A CFA analyst, whereby if you're in the banking and finance space, this is one of the highest qualification one can ever get. So let me just pass on the mic to Bervyn, maybe to share a little bit on today's session or introduce himself. Bervyn, go ahead.
Thanks, Joey, for the introduction. Hi, good morning, everyone. It's Bervyn here again. I think it's very, very nice to see all those familiar names joining us week after week after week. Really, really appreciate your time every morning, every Friday morning, joining us on our weekly AMAS session. I know that there's quite a little bit of movement in the market in the past 2 weeks or so. Very good up move on some counters. Some counters you're maybe looking to maybe get in, thinking if you should sell, should take some profit. I mean, just stay tuned, just put in the request in the comments and we will take a look. Like Joey said, we are unable to actually cover every one of those stocks that you guys are requesting. So I believe some of you are also clients. So if you guys are clients as well, can also get our opinions from that WhatsApp that you have been receiving as well. Just reply to it. And for those of you who are not clients and wish to be clients, wish to get a little bit of a value added service, I think you can also just fill up the little form that I think Zee can help me to put in the chat a little bit, so we can also reach out to you from there as well. All right, so without further ado, I'll pass the time back to Joey to let us continue on this session this morning. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much, Bervyn. All right, so yeah, guys, I mean, basically all of us are actually brokers. I mean, advisors, trading representative, in Phillip Securities, where we are all, one of the top brokers in Phillip Securities. So if you are kind of like trading in Singapore, I mean, you probably need a trading account, right, to buy and sell stocks, correct? So if you're trading and you're not getting any advice, ideas, videos, training, WhatsApp, nothing from your own broker, check it out. The link's in chat as well, right? That's where, in case, we don't cover the stocks that you put over here live, well, if you have an account under me in Phillip Securities, that's where my team will be able to advise you of very quick opinions. And that's some of the value-added services that we provide as a client, and no additional cost. Same, right? It's the same as whatever you pay when you're trading, right? So that's some of the services that we provide as a client. So the link's right in the chat. Check it out, all right? In case we're not able to cover your stocks, check out how you can become a client of mine in Phillip Securities for free to get some of those ideas, all right? Okay, let me just go and introduce another of my team member right here today, and that would be Zee, all right, who has been with me for more than 4 to 5 years now. One of the top brokers as well under me in Phillip Securities. Zee is also conducting our group coaching sessions, our one-on-one sessions, our mentees, assisting our portfolio manager as well with the managed account service. And Zee is also what we call an expert in anything charting, right? Anything technical analysis, anything candlestick price action. She's the expert, right? Why? Well, she's actually what we call a CMT, Chartered Market Technician, all right? So if you're talking about TA, right, technical analysis, she's the go-to person. She's very well versed in the entire one good trend strategy that I've been using for more than a decade, same as Bervyn, all right? And let me just pass the mic to Zee to just share a little bit on herself.
All right, thank you, Joey. Hi, everyone. For those who are new here, and if you haven't met before, my name is Zee. Nice to meet you guys. Like what Joey mentioned, for me, basically, I just look at charts a lot, okay? So, diving into the technical setup, spotting trends. And the thing is that whether you are totally new or you have been trading for many years, right, we are here today to actually make things actually clearer for you, right, with the 1GT Pro indicator. Not more complicated, but clearer and simpler and easy to understand, okay? So with that, I'll pass the time back to Joey, right, to actually kickstart today's session, because we will try to cover as many stocks as possible, all right? Back to you, Joey.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's go to get started right now. So just a quick disclaimer that we do every single Friday, right? Whatever that's being shared today by me and my team, Bervyn and Zee, is just for education purposes only, right? So please do your own, due diligence, right? I mean, whatever we share is not really to ask you to buy or sell anything, right? Just to give you an opinion in terms of the technical point of view or a technical perspective, and we hope you get a better view of it, right? So not to sell, not to buy, but do a bit of homework, all right? And it's really your call. All right, okay, so let me go and share about the market. How many of you want me to cover like the market so that you get an understanding of where the market is? Just type M for market, guys, if you want me to go ahead to cover the market very, very quickly, this type M for market, before we dive into the stocks, right, that you guys want. This type M for market, let me know if you want me to cover the market, so at least you understand what is happening in the market, you know, where are we heading? Is it more bullish? Are we going to hit higher? Let me see. All right, thank you so much. David, M. Hi, Badguan, good to see you here. I think you're joining us every single Friday as well. All right, Styler as well. Chua, William, Feline, So I'll just do a market very quickly. Maybe I'll just talk about the S&P 500 index and also the Straits Times Index, STI. I mean, since we're talking about Singapore market today, right? So let's talk about the S&P and the STI. Okay, so here's the S&P 500 index. It's here about 5,842. So I'll just go through very quickly, all right? Because every Friday, you know, we talk about the market as well. So you can see that I've turned on, based on my One Good Trend Pro indicator, right over here, I've turned on what we call the bullish and bearish signal. So you can see right over here, I'll just turn it off. Let me turn it on again. Pump, there we go. And you can see bullish and bearish signals. So whenever you see like a bearish signal, a red color, then, you know, not so good, you know, it might be a bit weaker, it might push down a little bit, right? So you can see, right, got a bearish signal in August 2023, another bearish signal, all the way down. A bullish signal in November 2023, all the way up. A bearish one came down, all right? So a couple of bullish signal over the past 1-2 years. So let me just dive into the past few months. I would say that, you know, in like February, very quickly, February, we actually had not one, but two bearish signal on the S&P 500 index. All right, and if you understand, right, the early April, 4th April, 7th April, Trump actually introduced what we call reciprocal tariffs on a dozen of countries. It escalated a little bit with China, all right? And this bearish signal actually came out in February, right, 2 months before April, right? And you can see, I mean, of course, April went down even more, all right? So it came down, all the way down. I think we hit a bit of support around the 5,000 to 4,008. Thankfully, it stabilized. It de-escalated with China, all right, because now, you know, there's a deal between US and China to reduce the tariffs back, not zero, right, but kind of like reduced by quite a fair bit, like for US. You know, it reduced the tariffs on Chinese goods coming to US from 145% to about 30%. I mean, still quite a huge drop, right? China as well has reduced tariffs on US goods coming to China from 125% to only about 10%, right? And there was like a 90-day pause as they negotiate further, but at least there's some, you know, positive, you know, developments from it, because previously when they announced, right, both were very aggressive, as tit for tat war, increase, and then there's like no end, right? But now at least both countries realize that, you know, they need to take a softer stance, right, towards this whole tariff, because it's unsustainable, right? What's the point of doing this? So, you know, it kind of like cool off a little bit, and there's a bit of a de-escalation in tensions, right? And that's where the market started to rise over the past 3 to 2 weeks. And of course, over the past few days as well, there's some negative activity in the market, right? Not really on tariffs, but, you know, due to like this US bill, right, that was passed as well, and investors feared that could worsen the US deficit in terms of inflation. It could spike up a little bit as well. Treasury yields started to rise as well. So some of the news that came in, this to affect the market a little bit, but not much on that. I think people are still watching what we call the tariffs announcement that will be coming up, I would say, in the next 2 months as well, as all these ongoing developments or trade deals are being made with between US and other countries as well, right? But let's take a look at what has happened, right? So you can see, right, we actually had a 1 GT, right? So after the two bearish signals in February, down, we got a new 1 GT bullish signal actually coming out. And that was in 29th of April, right? To be exact, it's 29th April. And where would that be, right? That would be about about 3 weeks back, 29th April, Tuesday. It came out, right? So not yesterday or last week. In fact, it's really rebounded, in case you're still thinking whether it's rebounding. It's really rebounded since like 3 weeks back. And we got a bullish signal, and you can see that the green 20 days moving average line that indicates the short-term trend also started to, was like down, right? All the way down from February, right? It started to point up as well as another confirmation of the reversal. All right, so that's a good thing. So I think right now, I think probably we are still seeing strength in the market. I think we could still be bullish. Let me just go to draw this very critical resistance level for the S&P 500 index right over here. You want to write it down, 6,150 to maybe 6,002. That would be a very key psychological resistance level. Look at this, right? That was where we were in December, February, January, touch. And two bearish signals starts coming down. So I think we are kind of like approaching that level whereby some profit taking might happen, normal, all right? Good to see a bit of consolidation below that level. But I think in order to really see more upside, in fact, even a bullish market happening, all right? If all these tariffs were to clear out, right? Well, that would be a break of the 6,002 to 6,150. I think that's where we could trigger even more momentum. We could even see a new 1 GT bullish signal coming out, all right? And then targets could be rise maybe to 6,005 to 6,006. That's what could potentially can happen. So watch that level, right? 6,150, 6,002 will be a very critical level if you want to really see more upside. In terms of the support level, so I say, right, the short-term trend is good. We got a bullish signal, it's still going up. But what about any near-term support levels that have came out over the past 1 over week? Let's find out. I would say right over here, quite clearly, the 5,800 level. Now it's what? 5,842 last night closed at 5,842, as you can see, right? So 5,008, you can see in November to all the way to February, right? Before we got the bearish signal, it broke down, right? We were above the 5,008 lah. Look at this, right? We broke down, went down, in fact, rebounded back up, tested, and came back down, right? So finally, over the past 1 or 2 weeks, we managed to climb back above the same 5,800 level as well. So that will become like a new higher support level. I mean, from that, bottom at near 5,000 to 5,002, that would be a new higher support at least, right? So I think we can stay above that 5,008, well, all the way back to the same 6,150 to 6,002. I think that could be where some selling can happen again. So far it looks good, right? Short-term trend is turning up. The bullish signal that's played out about 3 weeks back, still playing out. We are holding above the 5,800 support. It's 5,842, still okay. All right, so I think we are looking at pretty good. I mean, compared to in early April, when it was a bit uncertain, countries, like Donald Trump just introduced it was very aggressive. But I think now there's a bit more certainty. All right, there's all these ongoing developments between the countries. So I think people are starting to not just starting, but I think since a couple of weeks back, investors, our traders have started to load up to ride the reversal. That could potentially still be ongoing. All right, so this is the S&P 500 index, very clearly. All right, so I know some of you are already typing the stocks. Later I'll go ahead and talk about stocks, but right now, let me talk about the Straits Times index very quickly. So let me just go ahead to remove some drawings right over here. And this is the STI, all right, Singapore's Straits Times index, because today we're talking about the AMAS Singapore, right? So of course we talk about the STI. So STI actually looks a little bit quite stable. I would say, of course, in April we got a bearish signal. Most stocks sold off. The S&P sold off by 5-6% in a day, right? Never really seen that since COVID, right? So you got a bearish signal as well. Look at this, right? Bearish signal all the way down. And finally, a bullish signal came out as well for the STI. So this is the 1 GT Pro indicator that I have, in case some of you are a bit curious as to how come got this green thing right over here, this signal. Well, as I say, this is the 1 Good Trend Pro indicator I have that is backed by my 1 Good Trend strategy. All right, don't have time to explain everything, but attend a free webinar to find out more. All right, but essentially you can see I've turned it on, and that's the reason why the bullish signal appeared, and that was on 17th of April. All right, 17th April. In fact, even earlier, right? The previous one was like 29th, so it's like 17th April. I think even about a month back, something about a month back, we got a bullish signal. You see, started to push up already. The longer term trend for the STI for the Singapore market is we can take a look at the red 100 days moving average line and the blue 200 days moving average line. So as long as this red and blue line are both pointing up and the red is above the blue, I would say that the longer term trend for the Singapore STI is up. All right, is it up right now? Yes, I think it's up. It's still up. I mean, the longer term trend is still up. It has been up since last year, I would say May, for about a year. The long-term trend has been up. It is still up because the red is still above the blue, and both of these lines are still pointing up. So Singapore has been pretty resilient, I would say. I mean, since last year, of course, in the short term, we can still see some selling, get this, right? A bearish signal, palm, come down, all right? Bearish signal, palm, come down. But every time we come back down, a new bullish signal appears, like over here in August, and there we go, all the way up. Another bullish signal, all the way up. Another bullish signal, the past 1 month, and we have gone up as well. So I think not too bad. The market still looks pretty bullish. Long-term trend is up. The short-term trend based on the green line has turned up as well. Psychological resistance level for the entire STI, I want to write it down. I think that's very critical. Well, that will be the 4,000 level, right? So STI, you see, right? We hit it. In fact, I think like 2 weeks back, we hit it to near 4,000. I think 395 something. And then, sellers started to come back and we pushed down again. So I think the 4,000 would be very, 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 very critical. All right, there's a very key resistance level. If we stay below it, well, we may just be, doesn't mean we stay below. It means we are not good or bad or bearish or what, like going to crash. No. I mean, it just means that we are kind of like seeing a bit of a selling below it. It's consolidating below it. All right, buyers are starting to, slowly buying up, but sellers are still, gaining control at the 4,000 level. And only when we can break the 4,000, I think that will be where you can check out your newspapers. So there'll be a lot of headlines, right? STI breaks 4,000, 4,001, blah, blah, blah. That's where you could trigger a whole new momentum in the market, right? But right now we're still below it. So let's see, right? So I think maybe support, if I can draw it for you right now, range is quite clearly 3,008, all right, 3,008 to that 4,000. So I think as long as we stay above that 3,008, I think still okay. We're just consolidating here for now from 3,800 to 4,000. Okay, up, down, right? Maybe nearer to 4,000, and hopefully pump, right? It breaks 4,000. That would be a new phase up for the entire STI. All right, so far so good. Long-term trend up, short-term trend has reversed up. 1 month back, still looking good. We might be seeing a bit of profit taking near the 4,000 for now. All right, so that is pretty much my take on the market. Some of the key levels you want to take note of. All right, how many of you got a bit of value so far? This type B for value, guys. If you got value so far, for those of you who are just joining us, scrolling through YouTube and Facebook, welcome to our Ask Me Any Stocks session today, Singapore market today. All right, and essentially I just talk about the markets, right? And right now, I'm going to go through the Singapore stocks that you want a quick opinion on, right? Not just me, right? My team as well, Bervyn. So just go round robin style, like me and then Bervyn and Zee. We do it one by one, all right? And go ahead to type the name of the stocks. Singapore stocks. Don't type Apple inside. Apple is not Singapore stock, right? So to type Singapore stocks, right? That you want a quick opinion on. Give us a bit of context. I will go through it very quickly, one by one. All right, value. What are Clement? All right, Sabraju value. Very good. So I hope you understand a bit of the market. But right now, let me go ahead to talk about the Singapore stocks. So type in the chat the Singapore stocks, and as I say, right, give us a bit of a context. All right, like CS Gun, we heard. What about we heard? I mean, you bought it. You want to sell it? You bought it last year? I don't know what. Give us a bit of context so that at least we have a bit of context and we'll prioritize, your stocks a little bit more. All right, Ken? Okay, let's see. So let me just go through right now. So I'm just only because I was just like presenting just now, guys. So I'm just looking through the chat to see what are some of the stocks, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Jane Villanova. Hi, Jane. Good to see you here. I think you're new to this session. Good to have you here as well. Hi, Joey and team. Please advise on CNMC forecast, right? Maybe I'll just choose that stock, right? CNMC is a Singapore stock, right? CNMC Goldmine, correct? Jane, is that correct? So let's just go CNMC Goldmine, Singapore stock. It should be this one. Let me go to take a look at it. Right? I think this is CNMC Goldmine, all right? One of the gold mining stocks. I mean, all of you know that gold prices have pushed to pretty much an all-time high over the past couple of months due to the uncertainty when Trump introduced tariffs. A lot of funds float back into gold. It's seen as what we call a safe haven currency. All right, so gold mining stocks, gold stocks has started to push up as well due to gold prices pushing higher. And this is CNMC Goldmine. So very quickly, let me just go to talk about CNMC Goldmine, the first stock for today, and it's like 42 cents. I think not too bad. I'll just go through very quickly. Well, longer term trend is up. Look at the red and the blue line. As I say, right, we want to be in the same direction as the longer term trend. We will not want to buy stocks which are in the downtrend in the longer term or in the short term. That means it's like going down every other day, every other week. I mean, why do you want to buy it, right? You want to buy stocks that are strong, that has the potential to move even higher, all right? I mean, it might be a bit more expensive, but the point is that they're strong. That's the reason why they're going up, right? So you want to buy stocks like this, right? So first of all, I think this stock is in a pretty good uptrend, right? In the longer term since like last year, all right? Of course, we had a couple of bearish signal came down a bit, a new bullish signal coming out in like January this year. Look at this, all the way up. Bullish signals went up. I think a bearish signal, that was April. So April, almost every stock got a bearish signal because the market sold off. All right, so bearish signal, but you see a week later, we got a new 1GT bullish signal. The green 20 days moving average line that represents the short-term trend also started to turn up, right? All the way up. Right now, the green line, I would say, is like from up, it started to move a bit sideways. That means the short term, it doesn't mean it's bad or what. It just means that in the short term, we have turned from an uptrend to a sideways trend, a consolidation sideways, which is fine. I mean, it just means that it's just taking a breather, right? Resting a bit, right? Hopefully, it can break a key level of resistance and push even higher. So let's find out, as it consolidates, what would be its support and even the resistance level, right, that it is consolidating in. So I can draw this line right over here. I think that would probably be the support. I mean, quite clearly, like you see, right? Over the past like 1 over month, rebounded, a couple of bullish candles rebounded last week as well. I think around that 0.39 to 40 cents. If we can stay above that 0.39 to 40 cents, I think it still looks okay, right? This is pretty much, taking a rest for now. All the way to this resistance at about that 44 cents, right? 44, maybe all the way to that 47 cents. So a little bit of resistance, 44 to 47 cents. But I think it looks okay. I mean, right now, longer term trend is up, short term trend is sideways. If we could break like the 44 cents, where I think this green line would maybe start to turn back up, that would be another confirmation in terms of the short term trend turning up as well. And of course, if we do break this resistance at 44 cents, right? Great. We may even see a 1 GT. So this was the bullish signal that came out a month back, right? But let's say we break 44 cents, we may even see a new bullish signal that could, spike up more momentum as well, with the 20 days moving average line pointing up as well as another confirmation. Even better. All right. So I think okay for CNMC Goldmine. Jane, I think so far, as long as it holds above that 0.39 to 40 cents, it looks pretty okay. All right. So that's the first stop for today. Let me pass on the mic to Bervyn to cover the next Singapore stocks. Bervyn, all yours.
All right, thanks, Joey. Let me just put my screen up. All right, okay. So I think just now I saw, I think FK Kong is asking, Singtel holding a small position after selling, can still buy again. So I believe you are actually, or you had actually taken some profits. Not too sure where you have taken profits at, or which level you are actually taken profits at. But it looks like, yes, the uptrend or the momentum still is pretty much intact. A little bit of selling coming in this morning, but we are still testing that $4 key resistance level, that psychological level that we actually want to look out for actually in the nearer term. So I think we are seeing that 20 days moving average, I think for Singtel still looking pretty good. The momentum, I think in the nearer term is still very, very much intact. A little bit of a sell down or a little bit of a profit taking coming in close to that 390 previously. But we are holding above that temporary support at around that 370 level. It looks like buyers are keen to come in closer to that level to accumulate on the dips. But I think the key support for me is still looking like around that 340 level. But I think in the nearer term, let's just watch out for that 370 to perhaps that 375 level, perhaps like a buy zone. If prices start to head back down towards this level, once again, I think this could be a potential accumulation zone as well. But alternatively, I think if you are not able to see if prices are able to break down or retrace towards that 370 level, the other level to actually watch out for would be, I would say, just slightly above that $4 key resistance level. Because why? If prices break above that $4 level, that would be turned into a new support, but as of now, not just yet. So if I were to just check the 1GT bullish signal, that 1GT bullish signal right from early of this year, somewhere in January, is still actually playing out. It's still actually playing out. So that's a good sign that, you don't have a bearish signal just yet. So I think you can use this signal still to continue to ride that momentum. Perhaps if that $4 level is broken, we may see another 1GT bullish signal appear right around there as well. So I think that is a good confirmation or further confirmation that we are in a new phase. But I think the way Singtel is had consolidated in the past, you can see they consolidated between a range, hit higher, consolidated in a range again, and potentially maybe you will see a little bit more consolidation before prices break above, because I'm not able to tell you, and nobody will be able to tell you if today will break above $4, next week will break above $4, 2 weeks later, nobody knows. But I think we want to be a little bit more prepared if prices hit either direction. So I think FK, I think, has set up some alerts. Just simply right click, add an alert on Singtel, and then you see this dotted line right here. When the prices cross that level or that alert level, you will be alerted. So I think this is still looking good so far. So I think if we are to turn on that trailing support as well, you can see that that trailing support is right around that 370 level. So still remaining intact, gradually sloping up. Some flat points, but it is still looking good so far. So that buy zone looks pretty good to me right now. Very close to that trailing support, just above that temporary horizontal support as well. So I think for Singtel, I think FK, if you are looking to get back in, nothing wrong, just maybe closer to the support, not too close to the resistance, because then I think maybe there'll be a little bit of excessive risk, excessive downside if prices start to head back down towards that 370 level. But so far so good, the trend is still looking intact. All right, so there's a very quick one for Singtel. I'll pass the time now to Z to cover the next stock.
All right, thank you, Bervyn. Okay, let me just share my screen quickly over here. Okay, so the stock that I will be covering will be Centurion, right? Mifi is asking about Centurion. You bought at 118. Should you hold or should you sell? So actually, this stock, right, is one of the stock that I believe Joey has been covering since last year. It's one of the very fantastic stock, as you can see from the chart. It has been performing really, really well. And you can see that, you know, when the first one GT bullish signal comes out, you know, somewhere last year, right, in February, all the way to, let's see, to here, right? This is about a close to 70% rise, right? Just last year alone, right? And then this stock is definitely still on our watch list for all of us, Joey, Bervyn, and myself. And if you are a client, probably you have known that, you know, this stock is also featured in our main newsletter, right? Just this month. So let's talk about this stock, all right? So Mifi, you mentioned that you have bought Centurion at about 118, right? So whether you should actually hold or should you sell? So first thing first, right? We always take a look at the trend, right? I mean, now if we look at it, short-term trend, green line, red line, blue line is all pointing up. So that means that you know, the trend, the uptrend is actually still firmly intact, right? So when the trend is firmly intact, the thing is that you do not have to rush to actually sell, right? Especially so when you get a confirmation that the trend is still all pointing up, moving averages is pointing up. We get a very recent 1 GT bullish signal right over here, right, on this day, which is on the 6th of May, right, on the 6th of May. And currently there is still no bearish signal yet, right? There's still no bearish signal yet. So if we take a look at the support and resistance, after talking about the trend definitely is still up, right? We can see that, I mean, the key support is definitely the psychological $1, right? That one don't need to say. But prices recently have just broke above this $1.25, which is the immediate support, right? And we also get a 1 GT bullish signal right here. So actually, in fact, this 125, I should turn it to a green, because now price is actually trading above this $1.25. So right now, if I were to turn on my trailing support and resistance, right, and this is where we can actually see all this shaded area, right? And the reason why this 1 GT bullish signal come out on the 6th of May, if I were to zoom in a bit, we can see that price actually closed above this trailing resistance line. And what that means is that buying pressure is actually returning. There's more buying pressure returning to the stock. Price break above resistance, is that a good thing? Yes, I would think that that is a good thing. Okay, so and if we look at the trailing support, right, we can see that, you know, whenever price moves up, the trailing support will also moves up, right? Goes up, sideways, goes up, sideways, goes up, sideways, right? So this is actually a good sign of an uptrend, right? When price goes up, trailing support goes up, and then consolidate, moves up again, consolidate, moves up again. This is what we want to see, right? This is what we want to see. And right now, we are seeing a little bit of this over here, right? A little bit of this over here. So in terms of, you know, whether should you hold or sell, if let's say the uptrend is actually still intact, what you need to do is you need to protect your downside, right? And but protect your downside, that's one thing, while you can continue to actually ride the uptrend. So if you're saying that, you know, you bought near the 180, what you can do potentially is to protect your downside by taking reference from the trailing support. So trailing support, now it's currently about 118, right, which is where you actually entered, right? So perhaps maybe you can place 2 to 5 bits slightly below the trailing support as a stop loss order, right? As a stop loss order, and you can actually shift this stop loss order up while continuing to ride the uptrend, right? So for example, it will be something like this. You enter here, then you ride the uptrend, you shift it up, ride the uptrend, shift it up, ride the uptrend, shift it up. So there is no urgency to actually sell the stock, but rather take active actions, right, to actually protect your downside while continuing to ride the uptrend. All right. So the target for this, right, as you can see here, we have drawn at about 150, and that is because we actually did a projection upwards. So as long as price is actually able to hold above this 125, right, I would say the potential upside target it still remain at 150. Like only if it actually break the 150, then perhaps you can actually revise the target higher. But at this point in time, in terms of the trend for this particular counter, it still look very decent, pretty strong as well, as all three moving averages are heading up, and we have found a new higher support. Okay, I hope that helped me for your trading plan for Centurion. I'll pass the time back over to Joey to cover the next stock.
All right, thank you so much, Z. All right, let me go ahead to cover the next stock. I think some of you are asking about this stock. Okay, let me go to share my screen right now. And that would be this stock. Let's see, right? We have Jimmy, you're asking about this stock called SIA Engineering, right? Is it time this share is going up as I bought at $2.35? How far can the stock go up? So you bought at $2.35. Now it's $2.58. Wow, congrats. So you're making some money already. I'm very good. So can you make more money, right? Can it go up some more so that you can sell higher, then you can make money, right? Let's find out in a bit, Jimmy. All right, I think Chin Jinglong, all right, Chin Jinglong, you're asking about it as well. Let's see. Plan to buy at 246. Also, Jimmy bought at 235. You plan to buy at 246. We haven't buy yet, right? So let's see if you haven't buy yet, what could be the price? Maybe you think about getting it. But this is SIA Engineering right here. So just to save time, very quickly, guys, you can see that I've turned on what we call the 1GT Pro indicator, right? Like Bervyn and Zee, right? So very quickly, in a matter of seconds. I mean, we're talking about Singapore stocks today, right? But essentially, we could turn it on for any asset classes, all right, whether is it not just Singapore stocks, but not just SIA Engineering, but even your Apple, your Microsoft, your Bitcoin, your Forex, your crypto, whatever, all right, any asset classes, you get an opinion in seconds based on my one good trend strategy. All right, so you can see, let me turn it on, and there we have it, right? For SIA Engineering, well, we actually had a bearish signal, all right, in 25th of March, right? I think we sold off quite heavily, 25th March, all the way down. I think April sold off even more, all right? But a new bullish signal came in 17th April, all right? The green 20 days moving average line also started to turn back up as well, right? So it turned back up as well. So I think we are definitely seeing some signs of the short-term trend reversing. In fact, not just last week, since 17th of April, right? 17th of April, we have already about a month back, more than a month back, already seen some signs of the reversal happening. Of course, from this bullish signal to the push up. There is another bullish signal that came out 20th of May, which is on Tuesday, today, Friday, right? So Tuesday came out as well, started to push a little bit higher. So I think not too bad. And the key here is this. I think there was some news that came out. Let me just show you this news, right? DBS upgrades SIA Engineering to buy from whole, adjust price target to $2.80 from $2.50. Target increase, $2.80. Where is it? So 280 is higher, all right. Okay, let's take another news as well. There was this deal right over here, right? SIA Engineering backs $1.3 billion deal from Singapore Airlines SQ, right? And I think they have a deal pretty much with Scoot as well and SIA. These contracts expected to yield a revenue of $1.3 billion. It covers the SIA support for the fleets of Singapore Airlines and Scoots and everything. So basically, when SIA, the airlines, they use SIA Engineering services in terms of the maintenance of the aircraft, the repair, overhaul, to manage the whole entire aircraft fleet and all that, right? So $1.3 billion deal. That's where I think we started to spike up even more. We got a new bullish signal as well. So that's some of the positive news that came out. But let's take a look at technically what has happened over the past few years. Let me go to turn. Let's turn off the signal so you can see very clearly as to where are we right now in terms of the past, 5-6 years, right? Maybe, let's not go too far. Maybe I would say all the way to maybe 2017 to 2018. You can see that the previous high was in 2013, about 10 years back. That was like a $3.60. I can just draw this resistance right over here. There was a previous resistance, another resistance right over here as well, $3.40. So all this gives me a gauge of where are we right now compared to the previous high. It doesn't mean we're confirm go to that. No, right? It just means that that was where we were previously. Now we are somewhere near the bottom, potentially. Of course, if we look at certain things like the trend and bullish signals and we break certain key levels, we may progressively retest those previous resistance level, right? Another resistance level right over here. So I think that's very critical. The $2.60. Look at this, right? 260 was the support. Let me show it to you. Support, rebounded. Bam, we broke down, right? We broke down. That was in when 2018, right? Broke down. You see, came back up, retested, go back down. Came back up, retested, go back down again, right? Here also retested, go back down. So that 260, right, I would say is quite important, because that was originally the support we broke down, and since like 2018, that is about like 7 years or 6 years plus, right, we have been below the $2.60 resistance level. All right, so now is what price? Now is $2.57. Well, very near, 3 more cents, then reach 260. In fact, I think this morning, right, this is like, I think this morning went to 2.58. All right, well, 2 cents only. So very near the 260. So I think very key. Okay, let me just quick. So now that you know all these levels, right? So that's how we, I mean, as I say, this is the entire one good trend strategy, but at least we have an idea of what has happened over the past few years, what are some of the key levels, and now we zoom back in and we turn on the one good trend pro indicator to see what are the signals. So you can see bullish signals, yes, we did rebound all the way, but the next level to watch will be the 260. All right. If we can break the 260, right? We can break 260, I think potentially we may really start to see even more upside. All right. Targets could be $3 to $3.40. Those levels we talk about. I think maybe $3 first. That will be a psychological resistance level as well. But so far, it looks pretty good. So what I can do right now is to set an alert, like, for example, 262 pump, all right, 264 pump, and price alert. So anytime it goes above 260, we go 263, 261, whatever, right? I want to know about it, all right? And that's where I'll look at the charts again to see is certain things that we look for, like the candlestick, the volume, are they strong? All right, can we hold above the 260 in the next few days? If we can, I think that could really set it up, not just for a reversal, but for a very bullish run, all right, as it attempt to retest those previous resistance level. All right, so I think the question, right, plan to buy at 2.46, but not too sure. 246 would be, I'm not too sure whether it will dip to 246 for you to buy. I mean, maybe if I can draw this support level for you, we can turn on what we call the trailing support level. So you can see, right, when we got this bullish signal coming out in April, all right, a trailing support pops up. And let me just give you a bit of an understanding of what is a trailing support level. A trailing support level, as the name sounds, it trails the price. It follows the price. It don't follow until so close also, right? You follow it, but you give it some space and you account for volatility. So there's some space, like you can see. I mean, the line is below, the price is above. There's some space, right? So you give it a breathing space to hopefully go even higher. All right, and it accounts for volatility. So if you're very volatile, then you give it more space, all right. If you never really move much, then you don't need so much space, right? So you can see there's some space because it started to push up, but it's still above it. So right now, the trailing support, it is about the $2.40. So maybe a bit of support around 240, but in fact, I think 250. I mean, it's only 2 days, so it's a bit hard to say, but I think 250 maybe would have come out as a little bit of a higher horizontal support rate. So anything from 240 to 250, I mean, if it does really dip there, that could be a very good attractive opportunity. But the point is that nobody know whether you will dip to 246 for you to buy. Like, you might just go to 251 or 252 and then buy, go up already, right? So nobody knows. But right now, I would say anything above 240 to 250, it looks pretty much bullish, all right? But I'm looking for that break, as I mentioned, of that $2.60 resistance level, all right? That is pretty much that 6 years, I mean, as I mentioned just now, 6 years below it, right? And if we break the level, I think we could be really more bullish. We may even see a new bullish signal appearing. All right. So that is my take on ST Engineering. I hope that helps well. All right. So Jimmy, is the share going up as I bought at 235? Good, right? You can take some profit if you want to do near 260, but if that breaks, right, I think you could potentially invite even more upside, more gains, and all the best to that trade. All right. So let me pass on the mic to Bervyn to cover the next Singapore stock. Bervyn.
Thanks, Joey. All right. Okay, let me throw up my screen right here. All right. So I saw two person asking for the same stock. I think Chester bought Yangzijiang at 0.7474 cents. Should I hold or sell to cut losses? I think Chloe is also in a very, very similar position. Bought Yangzijiang at 0.71. What would be the target price to sell? Both very, very, very good questions. I think you can see that, I think very clearly, let me just clear up my drawings, analysis on it previously. I think very clearly we saw that prices have met with a little bit of sellers close to that 76 cents level, 76 and a half cents level. So a little bit of sellers come in last week or earlier this week. That is not too bad because, I mean, sometimes we want that resistance to be tested first. You don't want prices to be heading higher and higher and higher. But I think we have seen a little bit of a run up since the start of the year. Prices have raised from 37 cents all the way up to the 75 cents level. That's already a 95 or 90% gain already. So I think it's about time we see a little bit of a consolidation happen for the stocks or for Yangzijiang Finance. But I think the support right now looks to be around. All right, sorry, just let me change this color. Around that 70 cents level, that 70 cents psychological level seems to be a good support level. I think prices are testing it this morning. So I think for Chester, you bought at about 74 cents. Okay, very close to the resistance. At that point, I think Chloe bought close to that support level. I think not too bad at this point, but with that 20 days moving average moving sideways a little bit, may expect a little bit of a consolidation in the nearer term. But the overall longer term trend by the 100 days and 200 days moving average still shows that the uptrend is still intact at this point. So if I were to just turn on the buy and sell signals, right here we had a 1 GT buy signal that had appeared when prices recently tested that 76 cents resistance level. So not too bad at this point. So we will have that trailing support just right here about that 67 cents level. So I think Chester, you're asking what is a stop loss level to look at. I think if prices break below that trailing support, yes, then maybe you want to be a little bit careful. Why? Because I would say that the next downside or the downside could be towards that 60 cents psychological support level. So if you want to get out, you maybe want to set some alerts or set some stop limit orders just right below that 67.5 cents level to get out. You don't want to have a losses that is stretching too wide. And if prices approach back to that 60 cents level, this could be another buy zone, or potentially a better buy zone to actually enter again, especially if that longer term trend still looks intact, that shorter term trend also looks to have a little bit of strength. Then yes, then I think maybe there's another entry. It's always good to maybe cut some losses or reduce your exposure if there's a weakness, especially if it's a nearer term or shorter term trade for you. Don't intend to be a long-term investor, then you got to stick to the plan to actually sell as well. But if that 20 days moving average starts to point up alongside prices, if it rebounds from that 70 cents level, breaks above that 76 cents level, I think this trailing support will definitely start to move higher and higher and higher at the same time. So you could use that trailing support as a stop loss level. So a stop loss level just below that trailing support. As it goes up the trailing support, your stop loss level should hit higher as well. So that way you are locking up your profits, especially if you have bought close or close to that support level like Chloe herself. Then eventually you will be sitting on some profits as prices hit higher and higher and higher, and as that longer term trend continues. All right, so I think Yangzijiang Finance still looking not too bad. Just a few key levels to watch out for. But if that maybe just one more thing, if that support level or if that support or the resistance level gives way, I think the upside towards 815 could also be 815, 820 could also be possible. So I think maybe another alert just above that 76.5 cents level, 77 cents level would be a good alert to be placed as well. So you do know that we are in the next phase of the uptrend already. All right, so that is for Yangzijiang Finance. I think I'll pass the time back to Z to cover the next stock.
All right, thank you, Bervyn. Okay, let me. Okay, so I hope you guys can see my screen. The next stock that I'll be covering is from Vio, right? Vio is actually asking about Riverstone. He have this in his portfolio, thinking of buying more as the price look attractive. So what does the chart say? So, okay, so first thing first, I just want to highlight the fact that we don't buy just because if let's say the price now is like 70 cents and previously 3 months ago it was like $1, we don't buy just because the price have dipped 30 cents. We want to typically we always look at the trend first, okay? We always look at the trend before thinking about buying because we don't want to buy when it's in the downtrend because you could be holding on to the stock and it dips even lower, dips even lower, and that's where you'll be sitting on unrealized losses after a period of time, right? And then you'll be wondering, hey, what am I gonna do, right? So that is what we try to avoid. All right. So let's take a look at Riverstone. All right. So for Riverstone, the chart looks all right. Like the uptrend is intact. 2024 all the way, to somewhere in August. This is where we actually start to see some short-term weakness returning. You can see that this 20 days moving average started to consolidate sideways, but it regained strength, right? It went back up again, but this was where price started to break down, right? Somewhere at the start of this year, right? In March, right? This is where we actually starts to see the 20 days moving average break below the longer term moving average as a confirmation, right? As a confirmation that potentially this stock might be seeing more weakness, right? I mean, of course, at the start of the year, somewhere in January, this is where the 20 days moving has already started to point out, but it was in March where we get more confirmation that this stock is definitely seeing more weakness. Plus, we actually get a fact that on this day, which is 28th of January, we actually do see a 1 GT bearish signal coming out, right? And of course, that is just purely talking about the trend, right? I haven't even talked about the support and the resistance, right? So right over here, when we actually get a 1 GT bearish signal come out shortly later, right, we actually do see price breaking below this 96 level, and this is actually, previously it was actually a support, right? So it actually broken that level and it became a resistance. So it was actually a support, it was a resistance prior in August, broke above, price managed to hold above, turning it to be a support, broke down again, and now it is actually a resistance. And moving forward a few months later, right, in April and May, this is where we actually very recently, somewhere in, 9th of May, right, we actually get another 1 GT bearish signal coming out. So that means that we have a total of 2 consecutive 1 GT bearish signal, and there is still no 1 GT bullish signal inside yet. And if I were to zoom in and we just purely focus on the moving averages, which is the trend, what do we see? Number one, we see that the 20 days moving averages is still pointing down. Number two, is this positive or is this negative? I would think this is giving me more signs of negativity because why? The red line is actually pointing down and it's actually attempting. It seems like it's actually attempting to break below the blue line, which is not that great, right? So right now, price is at, this is live, price is trading at about 70 cents, right? And the immediate support level that I think would be very crucial, right, to see whether potentially this stock could stage a reversal or not. I think we will have to take a look at this support level at this about this 66 cents, right? This level right over here. Why? Because previously back in February, this was where we can see that it was a resistance. Price tested it multiple times before it actually break above it, before the uptrend actually fully formed, right? And it right all the way up to the $1 level, right? So this 66 cents, I think, is one of the very crucial level to see if price is actually able to hold above this level first, right? Because otherwise, if price is unable to hold above this level, where can we potentially see price head towards, right? Because if it breaks the support level, what does that mean? It means that there is more selling pressure returning, right? And the next support level, I would say, would be somewhere around this level right over here, right? And we can see right over here, this level, maybe around this 57 cents, right? Or about this 57 cents. If price is unable to hold above this 66 cents, perhaps we might see more weakness returning and price might head towards the next support at around the 57 cents. So for VO, if you are thinking about buying, right, I wouldn't rush to think about buying at this point in time because I want to at least see that the trend stabilizing first, right? If it is able to, hold above this and it actually consolidates slowly before heading back up, right? That's where we can actually relook at the stock again to see where are the potential zones of entry, rather than thinking about, okay, now price is at, it dipped another 5 cents. And so if price is at 0.695, previously it was at $1, I want to buy now just because it is 40 cents cheaper. I wouldn't do that. So you want to wait to have more confirmation first, to see another 1 GT bullish signal, to see the moving averages starts to stabilize and point up, break resistance. All these are more confirmations that we want to see before we actually position ourselves for entry. Okay, so that would be for Riverstone. I will pass the time back over to Joey to cover the next stock.
All right, thank you so much. I think what Z shared was very, very powerful as well regarding a little bit on the mindset. All right, a little bit of mindset. So I think most people they tend to like to buy stocks which are cheap, right, which are attractive, right? So yeah, I will agree it's really quite attractive, lah. Right, I mean from previously $1, now it's only 80 over cents, so it's definitely attractive. But we don't buy stocks because it's attractive, because it's cheap, right? Because it can become cheaper as well. 80 cents you buy, then become 70 cents, become more attractive. Then 50 cents you can buy more attractive. Then 20 cents now. All right, so we don't buy because it's attractive, right? We buy only because there's signs of a reversal or signs of the stock pushing higher in an uptrend. Then you think of buying, right? Not just buy because it's cheap, right? That should not be the mentality. And that's one core, I would say, principle of the entire one good trend strategy as well. All right, of course, if you see bearish signal coming out and the short-term trend going down, then why you want to buy? I mean, right, you want to get stuck or what, right? We don't buy only when a new bullish signal come out, then you think about buying. That's even better. Does it make sense? All right, so that's one thing to share with you guys. So let me go to share with you guys my screen right now, and I'll talk about another stock right now, and that would be SIA, LAM, right? SIA, any recent bullish signal. Looking to buy, right? Looking to buy. So you are looking to buy, all right, and just checking if there's any bullish signal coming out. Is it looking good? Can it push even higher? Let's find out. So you can see that this is SIA. What price is it? $7.05, $7.05. Quite okay. Well, not too bad. $7.05. Very quickly, you can see that for SIA, well, over the past 2 years, right? Past 2 years. Not go too far, but past 2 years, you can see that SIA has been pretty much forming what we call higher lows. I mean, you could just draw this line right over here. I mean, connecting the lows, forming a little bit of a higher low, right? So higher lows, and this is what we call a channel support line. Connecting the lows, and you see it's been pushing higher and higher over the past 2 to 3 years. Of course, in the short term, it did go down, up, but generally over the past 2 years, lows has been getting higher and higher, all right? And if you look at what we call the longer term trend, look at the red and the blue line. We want both the red and blue to be pointing up, all right? So previously, not really, a bit down, a bit of sideways. But I would say since last year, the red and the blue line both have started to point up already. In fact, right now, I think the red and blue have pointed up. Red is above the blue. So longer term trend is also kind of pointing up, right? Now, let me go ahead to turn on what we call the 1GT Pro indicator in terms of the bullish and bearish signals, right? So to answer your question, right, any recent bullish signal. So let me just turn it on and see. All right, there we go. All right, so yeah, I think we have not one, but we have two recent bullish signal. The first one came out in 22 of April. So before that, it was bearish signal. Look at this, right? That was in all April. No wonder 4th April, I think Donald Trump, introduced the tariffs. Early April, I think most stocks got bearish signal. Everything broke down, the market sold off, got bearish signal came down. All right, and then finally a new bullish signal actually appeared. Right, that was in 22 April. Went up, and I think on the Monday 19 May. Just the past Monday, all right. I think we got a new 1GT bullish signal started to push out a little bit. So not too bad. All right, I think so far when we have bullish signal, look at this, that was in November, right, all the way up. Wow, look at this. This was in May 2023. Pump, two bullish signal, all the way up. Two bullish signal, all the way up. So whenever you get a bullish signal, I think not too bad. All right, that's where you could really see some momentum. Because when you see a bearish signal coming out, like over here, over here, then please don't go and buy lah. Wait first, be patient. All right, why you going to buy when it's bearish, right? You want to buy when it's bullish, when it's going to go up, then you buy, right? Don't buy when it's bearish. Okay. So now we got two bullish signal. So let me go to draw this very critical psychological resistance level right over here. All right, and that would be the $7. Look at this, right over here in 2023 June, right? I would say 2 years back, right over here. We got two bullish signals, went all the way up, tested quite a bearish candlestick over here. All right, of course, another bearish signal came out and went all the way down. So that's a very key level whereby we approached, we touched, we tested, we couldn't break it, and we came back down. Same thing, we neared it again in February last year. Neared it, didn't even touch it, neared it only, came back down. All right, same thing over here, we neared it over the past 6 months as well. Neared it, came back down, $6.80 to $7 came back down. Over here as well, that was in March, neared it, came back down. But over the past few days, we are above it. All right, so that's a good thing. I mean, by right, it should be going down. Every time we touch, come back down, come down, never go down. Now, in fact, we went above it, right? That's what we call a pretty bullish price action, all right? Because sellers at $7, I mean, it's only 2 days, all right? It's only 2 days. Now it's like first day yesterday, second day today. So it's only 2 days, but at least there's some form of, strength whereby sellers have kind of like given way in terms of the entire resistance level, like surrender or what, right? Buyers push it up, and we are still holding above this new $7 level, right? So this $7, it's only 2 days, as I say, right? So I think today is Friday, maybe next week, like next Monday, Tuesday, or up to next 1-2 weeks. If we can still hold above the $7, I think that would be a pretty good confirmation that this resistance will now turn into a new support level. And these two bullish signals can eventually continue to play out as well. So I think not too bad. It's 705. Yesterday was quite a bullish candlestick bar as well. Look at this, right? Pretty bullish candlestick bar yesterday. Today, a bit of profit taking because, it's gone up by quite a bit as well. So a bit of profit taking is fine as long as those support levels hold. Like the $7, I think we are still okay. Maybe a bit of a temporary resistance at about the 710. I think today the high is 710, then came back down. Yeah, so maybe a bit of resistance at 710. You can go to like 711, 712 and stuff. Great. I think that's where we could really start to see more upside momentum. So what I've done, you can see, right? On the right, I've actually set my alerts. Right, look at the 712, 716, 721. Pump, right? So I'll be alerted if it does break any of the key levels, and that's where a positions could be taken. All right, if we look at other confirmations as well. But I think so far it looks pretty okay as long as we stay above that $7, right? So yep, that will be for SIA, right? Very quick one. Let me pass on the mic to Bervyn to cover the next stock. But sorry, one more thing. I saw one more question, right? Let me see. Peter, right? Can your 1GT scan and signal ask new signal / trade by itself? Exactly, right? So that's like what you can do. As I say, what we're going through right now is the one good trend pro indicator. Turn it on in seconds, you get to see the bullish and bearish signal. All right. So you mentioned a signal asked by itself. I mean, you are referring to an alert, is it? Yeah, you can have an alert as well. So essentially now, as I say, you can type the name of any stocks, any asset classes, get an opinion in seconds. Or you could also set an alert. Like, let me show you. For example, this bullish signal came out. 2 ways to go about it. First way is you open the chart like what we're doing now, and then we see it come out. Right? That's a bit like Choy and error. Like you see, don't have, then have, don't, it depends on that day, right? But what you could do is to set an alert such that when it comes out, you will know. So you can press right click and alert, like this, set an alert right over here, and go to like the one good trend pro, buy or sell alert, once per bar, pump, create. So when any bullish or even bearish signal appears, I will be alerted by an email, by an app notification, by a pop-up over here, and that's where I can take a look at the stock. Does it make sense about? All right. So yeah, it does alert us. All right. By itself, you set an alert, but it doesn't trade for you. I mean, basically just an alert. All right. Up to you whether you want to buy the stock. All right. But that's where it guides us on when to get in, when to get out. All right, Peter. So yeah, Bervyn, all yours. Go ahead.
Thanks, Joey. Actually, I saw another question right here. I think D is asking, when doing technical analysis on Hong Kong SDR, so this, I think D is referring to these Singapore depository receipts that are underlying Hong Kong counter. Should I use the Hong Kong charts or the SDR charts? You should use the SDR charts because those are the prices that you are trading at. You're not trading at the Hong Kong prices. You're following the prices that's listed on the chart. So that will also work. So like Joey had mentioned, for ETFs as well, the 1GT Pro indicator will work on the Hong Kong SDRs as well. So the Babas, the Xiaomi's, they are all also, or the 1GT Pro indicator will also work on those charts. All right. Okay. So maybe I'll just pick the next stock. Yong Chao. Hi, Yong Chao. Good morning. Yeah, I have LHN in my portfolio. Does it look like it's going up further or down? Okay, great. We just put this up onto the screen. So okay, on my screen right here, we have the LHN. Let me just turn off these signals for now. I think in the nearer term, you could see that, yes, I think previously had sold down from that 525, 530 level. So I think that is what you're worried about, because I think prices are heading back towards that 530 level. So you're thinking if you should be taking some profit, because the last time it sold down, I think prices sold down towards that 38.5 cents level, about a 30% sell down, and also had rebounded from that level as well. So I will place that as a key support for now. All right. Okay. So, and prices, when it rebounded, I think it consolidated back towards this range once again. So just right around that 46 cents level is looking like there is some support. There is a back there, or there's some buyers that actually came back as prices approach that support level and it pushed higher. So I think this is still a very, very key support, because I think prices came close, tested it once, twice, three times. I think this week, fourth time, still not able to actually break above this support just yet. So I think if you are looking to sell, or you don't intend to hold on to this counter for a longer period of time, I think this is a very, very, very valid sell zone. So nothing wrong to take profits close to a resistance. All right, nothing wrong to follow your plan, to take some money to put in your pocket as well, especially if you're not very convicted, or the charts or are not showing any bullish candlesticks closer to that resistance level. It is okay to sell close to that resistance, take that profits. And if prices head back down, it is okay to buy again. Or even if prices eventually come close and break above it, yes, then a new phase has been formed, and then that will be another buy zone. All right, so but I think as of now, it looks like this resistance is still being respected. So you want to just be a little bit prudent, you can take profits. But let me just see if there's any one GT buy or sell signals. We have two, right? One buy signal, another buy signal, as prices rebounded from that 46 cents support. Maybe another 1 GT buy signal could come out, or 1 GT bullish signal could come out if that 52, 53 cents level has given way. As of now, not just yet. Or alternatively, Yong Chao, if you are looking to protect some profits, you can also use that trailing support as a stop limit order level, just slightly below it. I'm not too sure about your entry price, but if hopefully your entry price is still quite low, so even if you get out below that 46 cents, maybe 45 cents, you will still get out with profits. That in turn will, of course, you have to risk some upside, to actually continue to ride this trend as well. But I think in the nearer term, the 20 days moving average still looking good as of now, still pointing up. Shouldn't be in a hurry to sell just yet. Longer term trend still looking intact as well. That longer term uptrend is still pretty much intact. So I think we can monitor, because prices are very close to their resistance. We monitor for a few days to actually see if prices are able to test that 53 cents level, break above it, and then you shift your stop losses up as well. So I think like what Joey have just done, just set a couple of alerts above this 53 cents level, maybe 53 and a half, maybe 54 cents, another one. Just let yourself be alerted towards that as well. And if you are worried that prices are starting to calm down, set some alerts on the way down as well, to lock to, then once you receive those alerts, come in to maybe see if the trend has changed, or take some profits then. All right, okay, so that is for LHN. I'll pass the time back now to Z to cover the next stock.
All right, thanks, Bervyn. Okay, so I think the next stock, right, that I'll be covering will be Geo Energy, because I saw a couple of you guys actually asking, right? Andy also asking about, can you hold Geo Energy until the end of the month? Vivi is asking, saying that you bought, should you hold or sell? And I think there is one more, right? KB is also asking, right? You bought Geo Energy recently. Is it stock accumulation going on? So let's take a look at this, right? And what are some of the key levels, right, that you can potentially take note, set some price alert for Geo Energy. All right. So for Geo Energy, the trend in terms of since the last year until now, it kind of like, it is not a perfect uptrend, right? I mean, it doesn't, definitely with the look of the moving averages, it is kind of like just going sideways, going down, and then it's kind of like moving in this manner, but not exactly up, right? But very recently, we actually do see at the start of the year in Q1, we actually do see multiple 1 GT bullish signal coming out, and this is where we also started to see some signs of potential reversal playing out, right? Why? Because the moving averages has also started to head up, right? You can see that the green line has gone up. The red line and the blue line has also started to slope up, right? And the most recent 1 GT bullish signal that we had is on the 17th of 17th of April, right over here, right? 17th of April. And right now, price is actually trading at about 35 cents, right? 35 cents. So immediate resistance, if you can take a look at the levels, right? Immediate resistance, definitely it will be right over here, right? About this 34 cents, right? Because why over the past month or so, we actually see multiple candlesticks, right? And all of them, if we take a look at it, right, a lot of them have actually long lower shadows. And what does that mean near a support? It means that there is more buying pressure coming back to push the price back up, right? So when there's buying pressure, is that a good thing? I would say so, right? I would say so, especially when it's near a support level. And of course, KB is actually saying, is it stock accumulation going on? If we take a look at the 20 days moving average, right, just a couple of days ago, it has started to flatten out, right? It has started to flatten out slightly. So I would say now immediate support is at the 34 cents. Of course, immediate resistance right over here would be at the 38 cents, right? This is where we actually start to see selling pressure return, profit taking return. Price came back down, but even though price came back down, it is actually still holding above the 34 cents, right? So I would say 34 cents will be the immediate support level to take note, 38 cents the immediate resistance to take note. So for some of you, who are thinking about selling, where can you potentially sell some stocks, right? Sell some of your positions. It could be near, you can position yourself near the resistance, near the 38 cents level. But of course, if it consolidates in this manner and then it breaks above, right? And then it breaks above the 38 cents, potential upside that we are looking at will be towards this 42 cents level right over here, right? So it will look, perhaps it could look something like that if prices is actually able to break and hold above the 38 cents. All right, so these are some of the key levels that perhaps you might want to set some price alert on, and very easy to set price alert, right? If you want to think about selling, what we can do is right click over here, add alert, and we can just add the price alert, right? Maybe 0.375, and then I create. So right now, price, if price actually goes back up to 0.375, it will actually alert me, right? Alert me to take a look at the stock, maybe to place my sell order if I want to exit near the resistance, right? And the other thing is that I also want to add that we can also add an alert, right, with the One Good Trend Pro indicator. So I've just changed this from price to One Good Trend, buy or sell alert once per bar and create. So in that sense, it will actually alert me to take a look at the stock again if we actually do have another 1 GT bullish signal coming up. All right. So this will be a very quick one for Geo Energy. Passing the time back over to Joey to cover the next stock.
All right, thank you so much, Z. Let me go to cover the next one. I think we have some questions as well. All right, like Janet, right? Janet Lam, is your 1GT foolproof? Ever make any mistakes, right? So I think 1GT, you're referring to the One Good Trend Pro indicator. Foolproof. Guys, if anybody say that is a 100% winning rate, or is, once you get a buy signal, the next day you go up by 20% or what, please run away. Please run away. There's no such thing as 100%, guys. There's no such thing as 100%, right? It's not meant to be 100%, right? For this One Good Trend strategy that we've been using for more than a decade now, we're looking at a win rate of 60 to 70%, all right? And whether is it foolproof or not, I mean, you guys can see for yourself. I mean, based on the stocks that we covered, whenever you get any bullish signal, it's not meant to, like, once you get a bullish signal, you just close your eye and anyhow buy. No. Once you get a bullish signal, there are a couple of things we want to look out for, all right? In fact, we have a 7-point kind of checklist that we want to look out for in terms of the trend, the longer term, the short term trend, the support and resistance. And based on all these points, if it aligns, all right, if you have 4 out of 7 points, 4 out of 7 ticks, then we can potentially take a trade. All right, of course, when we take a trade, we want to have a plan as well. But that is essentially how it works, right? It's not just about when you get a bullish signal, then you just anyhow go and buy, No. Right? Don't do that, right? So if you're looking at foolproof, right, Janet, there's no such thing as foolproof or 100%. Please run away. If anybody say, wow, 100%, that kind of thing, oh my God, please. There's no such thing. A lot of scams out there. So please be very careful. Okay, Ken? I hope that answers your question, right? So if you want to find a bit more, guys, we do actually have a free trial, all right? So you can actually test drive my 1GT light indicator for free, right? Tim can just put the link in the chat. So look at this right over here, right? Most incredible free gift ever in the stock market. Test drive my One Good Trend light indicator for free. So what we've been using is the One Good Trend Pro indicator, the Pro version now, right? The more advanced version, whereby you can turn on a couple of features. But we do have this, One Good Trend light indicator for free. You can test drive it for free, all right? The link is right in the chat. You come to this page and you actually get $3,997 worth of pure training for free, just for saying, maybe for test driving it right over there. That is this page that will lead to. All right, so go to test drive it. You can see for yourself the signals. You can just type the name of any stocks that you want, any asset classes, and see if there are any bullish or bearish signals. So this light version, right, is the simpler version compared to the Pro version, right? The Pro one is some of the advanced features, but the Lite is just the bullish and bearish signals. There's no other advanced features. So you're gonna get all the advanced features, you get 10 more of those free webinars to find out a bit more. But right now, we are going to let you test drive the One Good Trend Lite indicator for free, right? The link is right in the chat, all right? And you can see for yourself whether is it foolproof or not, right? It's 100% not foolproof, that's what I can show you, right? But we're looking at a win rate of 60 to 70% based on strategy. I think that is good enough, all right? You want to win more when you're winning and lose less when you're losing, all right? So even with the 60 to 70% win rate, it's fantastic already, all right? Okay, let's move on to the next stock, right? And that would be Shing Xang, all right? ST Lim, Shing Xang has retreated, all right? Can advise any entry level to consider. So this is Shing Xang, right? Shing Xang, all right? Those of you who shop at Shing Xang, and I do shop at Shing Xang as well, all right? NTUC Shing Xang. So basically, you can see that for Shing Xang, couple of bullish signals coming out since August last year, right? Not too bad, right? Pretty good. 1, 2, 3 bullish signal, another bullish signal started to push up as well. Long-term trend turn up. I'll not go too far, but we can just see, right? Since last year, well, sometimes you got a bearish signal, right? So, when you get a bearish signal, that was in 2023, right? Bearish signal, another bearish one, it starts coming down. So bearish signal, then don't need to rush lah, all right? You want to be patient, wait for the bullish one, then you think about getting in, then you ride the upside. Does it make sense? All right. So we got a bearish signal, you see, right? A week later, a new bullish 1 GT signal actually appeared. That was on the 17th of April, to be exact. All right, 17th April. Today is what? Today is 23rd May. So more than a month back, we got a bullish signal. Of course, the next day, it started to push up. All right, and it was like about $1.63. So I think from here all the way to current price, about 12%. All right, 12% in about a month. How's that? Okay for you? All right, so 12%. So let's find out if is it still a good kind of buy right now. So what we can do is that longer term trend is up, red and blue up, red above the blue. Short term trend, we can take a look at the green line. So when the green line is like flat, I mean it was flat for like 5 months lah. So if you ask me over here whether good or not, I would say not good, not bad, very boring. It's just moving sideways lor. All right, so it's very boring, right? But once we got a bullish signal, the green line also start to turn up. That's another confirmation. That's where it start to wake up already, all right? It's no longer boring already, okay? It was like very boring for 5 months. Finally, it woke up. And let's take a look at the green line right now. So I think the green line is still sloping up lah. I mean, not as much as previously, but I think it's still kind of like sloping up, all right? Price still above it. So I think the short-term trend still looks okay. This bullish signal is still in play. And if you could draw this horizontal support level, I think about 180. I mean, for the past 2 over weeks, you see that 180. We've seen a couple of rebound. So I think 180 would be a near-term horizontal support. Right now it's 182. So I think if it dips to near 180, you can consider as well the plan. Anything above 180, I think it looks still quite okay. And if you quickly turn on the trailing support and resistance, let's take a look, right? So this is the trailing support that has popped out right over here when we got the first 1 GT bullish signal. All right, right over here. And this trailing support followed Shing Xang as it pushed even higher. Up, flat, and now it's slightly below. So as I said, this trailing support, it accounts for the volatility of a stock. So you give it some space. All right, so this 180 is just a horizontal support. But if you look at the trailing support, right, it's slightly below lah. Why is it below? Because there's space, ma. Right, so it's slightly below. It accounts for volatility. So as long as we stay above the trailing support at around the 1.7717, 177, 178, still okay. That would give us like a bit of a allowance, a bit of breathing space for the stock, and it accounts for volatility. So I think not too bad. Anything above 177 or 180 looks quite okay. Resistance maybe about 190, 188. All right, you can see that's where we saw a bit of a profit taking, came back down. But I think overall the uptrend is still intact above those key support levels that I talk about. All right, so that would be for Shing Xang. So before I pass on the mic to Bervyn, let me just go a quick recap, because I saw that there are some stocks that some of you have already asked again. All right, so those stocks that we have covered, right, guys, we will not be covering them again. So in case you miss a stock, you can watch the replay, all right, on my YouTube channel. So what you want to do right now, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button so that you can watch the replay easier, all right, later, all right, in all the stocks that we covered. So let me just go ahead to share with you guys what we have covered today. All right, we talk about the markets, the S&P 500 index. I covered that. I talked about the STI, Straits Times Index, right? And the very first stock that I covered was CNMC Goldmine, Singtel, Centurion, SIA Engineering, Yangzijiang Financial Holding, Riverstone. Z covered that, right? I covered Singapore Airlines, SIA. LHN was covered as well, Geo Energy, and I just covered Shing Xang, and that will be stock number 10. All right, so I hope these are the stocks that you guys, if you're asking again, all right, we have covered this stock, you can watch the replay, we will not be covering them again, we'll look at some new stocks. All right, so let me pass on the mic to Bervyn to cover the next Singapore stock.
Thanks, Joey. All right, okay, let's go. I think the next stock that I want to cover, I think Clement was asking very earlier on. All right, Clement, SGX, I bought it just last week. Great, okay, 1390. Let me just check roughly. 1390, okay, has the current support been broken. Better to sell now. Okay, Ken, sorry, I just got a little bit of analysis on the chart from here. Okay, let's see. It looks like Clement, your entry was just right above that support of about 370, 380, 1370, 1380 level. I'm not too sure, was it very close or very close to the month, the end of last month, or oh wait, you said last week, also last week. So okay, that's not too bad. So prices actually went up a little bit, and then it started to came back down. And today we are testing that support. I think as of right now, the support looks to be intact. Do not see like a very bearish candlestick forming just yet. We're almost to lunchtime. The SGX market break already, so I think can continue to monitor for a little bit first. We still have that 2-1 GT bullish signals. Just very quickly, is still valid at this point. We do not have anything like a 1 GT bearish signal coming in just yet. So I think if you are looking just in the past, since I have the lines drawn, we tend to see for SGX, prices tend to consolidate a little bit, hit higher, consolidate a little bit. On the day of a sell down, it quickly recovered as well. And right now we are just at the start of a new phase. So we can expect, or we should expect, the same kind of consolidation to happen. In the upside, I think I've drawn to about $15 psychological level first. So all right, but if the prices were to break down, we may find a temporary support about that $13 level at the same time. So I'm not too sure about your stop loss plan, but you do not currently have one. I think maybe you can also use that trailing support as a level to actually just roughly take note on where to replace the stop loss. Just 1 to 2% below this trading support would be a good stop loss level. I think for SGX at this price level, that would be fine. But we are seeing a little bit of a weakness, especially prices are testing that support in that 20 days moving average as well. So I think this weakness could continue, or we can also see that 20 days moving average start to flatten out, which that would be the ideal situation, and then start to slow back up again if prices are able to once again push off this 1370 support level. So I think that downside towards that $13 would represent at about 5%, another 5% below that support level. So I think just want to take note. I don't think you have to make any immediate moves just yet, especially if you're accumulating or your intention is to hold it for a longer term. You can still see that 100 days, 200 days moving average still sloping up very gently at the same time. So this could actually, or we can actually see if over the next few days, maybe starting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if this support continues to be tested, or we actually see some bargain hunters coming in on those dips to actually get in to ride the next trend, the next wave of that uptrend. Right. So I think nothing much to worry for SGX for now. Clement, I think still in a good position. Just watch out for that key level set alert if prices break below that 1370 level, and then maybe got to go in to set up your stop losses. But I think that upside to $15 still remains intact lah. Okay, so now I'll pass the time on to Z to bring you through the next stock.
All right, thanks, Bervyn. Okay, so the next stock that I'll be covering will be sets, right? Because I saw quite a number of you guys were asking about sets as well. Like Farin asking about sets, you bought 320, should you hold? And then I think Selston, right? Selston also probably holding sets. Yeah, whether sets should hold. And Lee Han, I think Lee Han is also asking about sets. Let me see. Yeah, whether is it time to sell, right? So I believe probably those of you who are asking whether is it time to sell, can you still hold? Probably you're already holding on to the stock, but not too sure when you actually bought into the stock, right? But let's take a look at this. But before I move on, maybe let me just hide this comment because I think you guys cannot see. Yeah. Okay. So the thing is that I wanted to show you guys this. Okay. So today, which is 23rd of May, SETs will actually be releasing their earnings results, okay, but it's after market close. So I'm not too sure how the results will be, and because I'm not insider, I don't work there, I'm not too sure how the result will be, positive, negative. But usually if let's say there is results, and sometimes the thing is that it could result in something like that happening, right? Prices could come back down, even though results are probably not too bad, right? Maybe profit taking can happen, or sometimes it could also gap up, right? It could also gap up. So the thing is that when it's coming to earning seasons, we will not know how the stock will actually perform. Will it shoot up? Will it go down? Not too sure. But what we know and what we can tell ourselves is we can look at the levels to take note. Where are the key support level? Where are the key resistance level? And how is the trend looking like at this point in time? Okay. So let me just put this back. Okay, so for sets, let's take a look at it. So at this point in time, I mean the very recent 1GT bullish signal, right, that we had is actually on this day, on the 24th of April, right, on the 24th of April, right over here. And we actually see some strength returning back to the counter, right, especially so when price actually rebounded from this 240 level right over here, right over here. Price rebounded very quickly from this 240 and we get a 1GT bullish signal. And this 240, I would say, is one of the very crucial support level, right? Because we can see that over the past year, right, in 2024, even prior to 2023, this was the 240 level that has been tested multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4, neared it, right? So the thing is that this 240 level is one of the crucial key support level to actually take note of, right? To take note of. If prices, I mean, if some of you guys are actually thinking of, perhaps buying into sets, maybe this is where you can set some price alert to notify you to relook at the stock again at that point in time if prices were to retrace back to the key support level. All right. But of course, right now price is trading at $2.98, right? $2.98. And this is actually very, very close to the $3 psychological level right over here. Right, because again, if we look back, it has been kept below this $3 level for at least, I would say, 1 year, 3 months, 1 year, 6 months, right, from 2023 all the way to 2024, before it actually broke above it somewhere in July 2024, and it has been holding above it since July all the way to April, right? July all the way to April before it actually broke down. Before it even broke down, we actually already got signs, right, of the trend turning down. Number one, 20 days moving average is pointing down. Number two, the longer term trend has also, the red line has also started to slope down, and we see 1GT bearish signal coming out. So I'm not too sure, what different people different people have different average price, right? So I'm not too sure where have you guys actually got in, but of course if you guys got in near the dip here, right, congratulations, right? You'll probably be sitting on profits and you're thinking about selling. Where can you potentially sell? I would say if you're thinking about taking some profits, right, exactly right here near the resistance, near the $3, it is perfectly fine to sell, right, near the resistance. So if prices is actually able to break and hold above this $3, right, where can we potentially see price heading towards? I mean, of course, we also have to depend on the earnings result at the end of the day, right? So the next target that we are potentially looking at, right, will be near this 340 level right over here, right? This 340. So it was actually, you can see that resistance right over here, prices near it actually broke above, right? We get a 1GT bullish signal, broke above it, held above this 340 for a couple of months, right, from September all the way to January. So I would say next level, if prices is actually able to break and firmly hold above this $3, is around this 340. So these are some of the key levels that perhaps you want to take note of. Key support near 240, immediate resistance. Right now, price is testing the immediate resistance near the $3, right? And the next potential target that we are looking at will be at 340, right? So this would be a very quick analysis for sets. I'll pass the time back over to Joey to cover the next stock.
All right, thank you so much, Z. Let me go to cover the next stock, and let me go to share my screen. And I see this comment right over here on, let's say, Seatrium, right? Seatrium right over here. LAM, right? Seatrium. Any 1GT bullish signal recently? All right, let's go to find out. So this is Seatrium. Seatrium, one of the oil and gas play in the Singapore market. All right, and in fact, I won't go too far, but you see that it was pretty bearish in like 2024, a couple of like bearish signals. Look at this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down, right? So when you see a bearish signal plus other confirmations that the longer term trend is down, the green 20 days moving average that represents the short term trend is down as well, you probably don't want to buy. I think there's some, yeah, look at this, right? Another bearish signal here in 2023. There we go, pump, all the way down as well. So let's just zoom into what has happened over the past maybe 6 to 7 months. I would say that finally we got a bullish signal in September. All right, pretty good one. Look at this, right? A bullish signal here. Started to wake up, right? From all the bearishness, got a bullish signal. The green 20 days moving average line also started to turn up. All right, look at this, right? From here, another bullish signal. It went up even faster until we got a bearish signal. 49%. All right, 49% in 5 months. Right? Okay or not? Okay, right? 49% in 5 months, right? So when you see a bearish signal, then don't like call the way back down again. I mean, you want to probably take some profit, get out. I mean, 49% is good enough, right? So to get out, take some profit. You see, when you see a bearish signal, that means that there's some, weakness, there's some heavy selling coming back, all right? And we could potentially trade even lower. And yeah, indeed, right? After this bearish signal, you can see the green 20 days also started to point down, the green line point down. Another bearish signal that was in April, right? Everything sold off, another bearish signal went even lower, all right? So that was a sell down. But let's take a look at what has happened again over the past few weeks, right? To answer your question, Lam, right? Any 1GT bullish signal? Yeah, I think that it came out 22nd of April, all right? About a month back, we got a new 1GT bullish signal, right? So I think the longer term trend is up for Seatrium. We did see a weakness in the short term, right? From February all the way to April. But over the past month, it seems like we've seen a bit of a rebound based on this 1GT bullish signal. The short-term trend, the green line that was going down as well, also started to already rebounded back up or to reverse back up already. So that's a good sign of some strength coming back. So let me just go to draw some key support and resistance level, right, based on this new 1GT bullish signal. So I'll say that right now we could potentially see this support right over here. Oh, what is that? Oh, the $2. No wonder, right? So $2 was a psychological support level that we just broke down. Look at this, right? Tested, we're below it for in April, still below it. We got a bullish signal appearing, and finally we got above the $2, right? So I think, yeah, you can see that this $2 also kind of like coincides with where the green 20 days moving average line is as well. That acts like a little bit of a dynamic support level, right? So I think $2 is a very critical support level. If I could turn on the trailing support, that accounts for the space, as I say, trailing one, there's space given, so it's slightly below. I think that would be around the 190 level. All right, it's a bit more space, but I'm not too sure whether it will hit to even 190. It seems like $2 has been holding well over the past 2 weeks already, right? So not too bad. I think anything above $2 or even 190, accounting for the allowance or the breathing space, I think it still looks pretty okay. All the way maybe to the next near-term resistance level, I would say maybe around the $2.20. Look at this, right? That was where we were holding below in March before it sold down even more, right? So I think, yeah, $2 all the way to $2.20, maybe $2.10. Past 1 week, a bit of selling right over here, all right? So now it's 209 or 209, all right? So I don't know, right? If we can break the 210, the temporary resistance at 211, 212, 213, the kind of thing, right? And in fact, I think I set some alerts, right? Look at this, 214. I can set another one, 212, right? So we can break the 210. I think that would be like a temporary resistance level. They give another more confirmation that we can potentially head up, towards this 220. 220 would be where some, we'll say some heavy profit taking can come back based on what we have seen in February and March. All right, so this is Seatrium. Looks not too bad. A bullish signal has appeared. We've started to push a little bit higher, still holding above a higher support level for now. If those support level holds, I think we still looks okay. All right, so that's for Seatrium. Bervyn, back to you.
Thanks, Joey. All right. Okay, so I think let me just pick a stock right here. I think LS asking, IFast, please. What is your 1GT signal? What is the 1GT Pro indicator showing right now? All right. Okay, so let's just zoom in very quickly to answer your question. What is the 1GT signal showing? The current 1GT signal is showing a 1GT bearish signal, to answer your question. But why? What's happening right now? I think from the high, the most recent high, I think earlier this year, I think IFast tried to break above that or tried to inch towards that $9 level. But I think subsequently didn't do very well. I mean, we actually saw prices actually start to sell down, and then furthermore during the 4th and the 7th of April, where Trump introduced those tariffs, prices actually sold down even further. Tried to stage a recovery, breaking above that $7 at that point of time, a resistance, but after that, subsequently not able to hold up the momentum and then breaking below it once again. So I think that 1GT bearish signal is still very valid, very, very valid at this point. Why? Because we can see that 200 and 100 days moving average have already started to point down, and that 100 days moving average have already crossed below that 200 days moving average. Not a good sign. Could this be like the start of a longer term downtrend? I think we are in the initial phases of it. Right now, I think the support level looks to be about that $6.20 level. Prices have rebounded from this level a couple of times already. But the 20 days moving average still pointing down, although prices looks to be pushing little higher today, a little bit of buyers coming in today. But I think still very, very early to say. I think we want to actually watch out for that $7 level giving way once again, where perhaps we can see another 1GT bullish signal come back in for a reversal. But I think if we're looking to buy, maybe not just yet. Not just yet. Okay, so we can see that trailing resistance right here. The space here looks like it's rather wide between the price and the trailing resistance. Why? Is because I think for IFAS, volatility tends to be a little bit higher due to the low share count, the low share float for the counter as well. So we want to see prices break above that trailing support for the initial 1GT bullish signal, break above that $7 to form a strong horizontal support. But it looks like if the weakness continue, where could it head towards? So if you just do a simple projection, I think Joey and Z have shown you can project upwards, but you can also project downwards. So if that $6.20 level gives way, I think the downside towards the 540 level could be possible as well. So this is where, actually, if you just look back, I think sometime in 2023, prices were consolidating at this level as well. So we could potentially head back to where we were in 2023. Not very good as well. So if we have been holding, I think it's perhaps maybe a little bit time to actually consider a stop loss plan as well. If you're looking to buy, I think not just yet. Wait for a little bit more confirmation of like an uptrend forming, or at least the 100 days and 200 days flattening out. 100 days, 200 days moving average flattening out first. Don't want to see another 1GT bearish signal, prices head further down as well. All right. Okay. So that is for IFAS LS. Can I pass the time now to Z to cover the next stock?
All right, thank you, Bervyn. Okay, so the next stock that I'll be covering, I think, is from Solik, right? Solik. So you talking about Haw Par, right? Haw Par recently shot up from $11.10, went down after giving dividends, high dividend stock. Should I bring in again or wait? I can't really tell whether you are still holding on to the stock or not, but what I'm assuming you're asking is, should you actually buy in again or should you wait? Okay, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at this, right? So for Haw Par, right, very recently, I mean, if we take a look at this, what can we see? We can see a 1GT bearish signal right over here on the 7th of April. There is still no bullish signal yet, but the trend, does the trend still look good? I would say that yes, the trend definitely still looks great, right? In terms of the longer term trend, definitely still intact, right? Red and the blue line, right? But then the short term trend, I mean, it's a bit wobbly, right? It's a bit wobbly, up and down. But very recently, I think it started to flatten out a bit. It flattened out a bit, but we actually have a 1GT bearish signal right over here. And why did this 1GT bearish signal comes out? It came out because right over on this day, price actually closed below the trailing support, right? Close below the trailing support. And I believe Solik is actually saying that, the price actually went down, right? After giving out dividends. So I believe the dividend X date is actually on the 5th of May. Amount is 120, and then on this day we actually see a red bearish candle from $12. It came back all the way down, right? And right now price is trading about 11.70 cents. So very clearly, the key psychological resistance would be at this $12 level right over here, right? But the good thing is that we are actually seeing strength returning to this stock, whereby price actually dipped all the way to 1070, right, which is one of the low right over here when the 1GT bearish signal came out. But you can see that it's actually inching back up, right, to retest this trailing resistance, right, to retest this trailing resistance. So I would say that if price is actually able to break and hold above this $12, right, very likely we will actually have another one GT bullish signal coming out, and that gives us more confirmation, right, on the uptrend as well, because now we are actually seeing that the longer term uptrend is intact, it's going up, right? But if we actually see that, you know, price actually break and hold above the $12, very likely that this green line, which is the short term moving average, will actually also start to slope up as well, and we get another one GT bullish confirmation. That's where we can potentially, you know, position ourselves for entry as well if prices can break and hold firmly above the psychological $12. And you might be asking, if now, you know, since price is so high already, where is the next target, right? So what we can potentially do is we can actually do a projection like what Bervyn actually did earlier. And we actually do this, right? You actually project it up. So somewhere near this, you know, $13 to about maybe this 13.20, right? This level based on the projection. This is one of the next potential targets level, or even like, you know, the psychological will be at the 13.50, right? This level could be the zones whereby the next targets that we are potentially looking at if price can actually break and hold above the $12. So what I would suggest, right, for Haw Par, for those who of you who are actually thinking about positioning yourself for entry, one way that I would do to alert myself definitely would be to set an alert, right? And what alert I want to be setting? Definitely I want to be setting a 1GT alert to alert me. A bit kiasu lah. Maybe I choose buy and sell. Maybe if you want, you can just place the buy, right? I choose both, right? Buy and sell to alert me if there is any new signals that comes out. All right. So this would be for Haw Par. This will be for Haw Par. I'll pass the time back over to Joey to cover the next stock.
All right, thank you so much, Z. So let me go to cover. Let's do maybe one more round. Let's do one more round. All right, one more round. I think we have like a total of 15 stocks. So let's just do one more round. All right, let's make it like 18 stocks today. 18 stocks today, and then we can go on to the bonus stock, right? Bonus stock. So guys, make sure you stay all the way to the end, because we have covered, like I would say, 15 stocks so far, 3 more with 18 stocks, and then later we'll dive into the bonus stocks that you guys want to put in your watch list. They have been our watch list, and in fact, you know, I've been looking through some of the stocks, and in fact, you know, if you have been asking about a stock, but we did not cover it because perhaps it could be one of the bonus stock that we wanted to share at the end. All right, so we'll not be like covering it again, or like duplicate, right? So that might actually be the bonus stock, right? In case you're actually asking about it, and we you know, purposely skip, right? Because we want to cover it at the end as a bonus stock. All right, I think Styler, I think, yeah, take note, I think yours is one of those, right, Styler? So in case we miss your comment, it's not because we ignore you or what, because yours might be the bonus stock, all right? So find out at the end, 3 bonus stock we share with you, okay? So let's move on very quickly to the next stock that I will cover. All right, let's see this stock right over here, Ahyok. All right, Ahyok, you're asking about Bumitama. Can buy at this price. I would say Bumitama Agri, right? Bumitama Agri, look at the price, 73 cents. Can we buy at this price? Let's find out, right? So you can see that for Bumitama Agri, very quickly, long-term trend has been up since 2024. All right, look at the red and blue, very strong. All right, and then, yeah, I mean, pretty good uptrend, I would say, right? In the short term as well, it was like up, flat, up. Look at the green line. But let me just go ahead to quickly turn on the 1GT Pro indicator based on the bullish and bearish signals. I say you can do it. That's what we've been doing over the past like almost 2 hours, right? Matter of seconds, you turn it on, you get an opinion whether to buy or sell. You see a bearish one, then probably wait first lah. All right, when you see a bullish one, that's where you want to wake up a bit, right? And maybe put your watch list, monitor a bit, and then that's what you could do, right? So let's turn it on. There we go. All right, so not too bad. All right, couple of a bullish signal. I'll not go too far, but I think November 2023, we got a bullish one here. February last year, so another one from here went even faster. Bearish one, take some profit, 31%, 6 months. Okay, right? Not too bad. Bearish signal, all right, went sideways a bit boring, but then another bullish signal came out in September, all the way up. Bearish signal, 17, 18% in 3 months. Okay, right? All right, but let's see, right? Over the past few months, well, that was in April, right? So in April, when everything sold off, when Trump introduced tariffs, right? We got not one, but we got 2 bearish signal coming out, right? 2 bearish signal. Look at the green line. Look at the green line. The green line, they was actually going up from this bullish signal, right? Went up. Well, the green line also started to point down, right? Let's see. So this green 20 days moving average line is like down, went up a bit. Now it seems like like going to point down again, right? So probably not want to buy, Why? Because first of all, we got not one, but we got two bearish signal, bearish 1 GT signal, all right? And the green 20 days moving average line is also not exactly pointing up lah. I mean, not down, not sideways, all right? I mean, it's not, I would say that it's definitely not up for now lah. It's a bit more down and sideways lah, right? Don't need to bluff yourself, right? So it's a bit more down. So we want to be a bit more patient. We want to wait for the short-term trend to at least start to point up as well, right? And maybe even wait for a new bullish signal. So back to your question, right? What price could you potentially think about buying? Or maybe when would that bullish signal comes out? So it hasn't come out yet, right? What we could see is that maybe we could have some support right over here around that 68 cents. Look at this, right? 68 was a resistance, pump. Oh, look at this, right? We got a bullish signal when we broke that 68 cents in September and all the way up. So now this resistance would be a support level. I would say, in fact, just like in April after the sell down, we headed to here and start to rebound again, right? I mean, now like seems like coming back down again, right? But 68 to 72, 70 cents like that. I think that could be a good support level as well. That could be a good support level, but it doesn't mean go there, anyhow buy, I know, right? But that could be where some bargain hunting can come back again, all right? So we consolidate there and consolidate a little bit, all right? Maybe the green line, start to point down a bit and maybe start sideways a bit. And then it starts to, go back up, something like this, right? Everybody starts to go back up or something like this, right? Starts to go back up over here. Plus another bullish signal. Then that will guide you to think about getting it back in. But right now, it hasn't come back yet, right? I mean, the bullish signal has not appeared yet, has not been triggered yet. Plus, the short-term trend is still down. So probably want to be a bit more patient. All right, want to be a bit more patient. But that would be the support level, 68 to 72 cents. That could be potential support whereby some bargain hunting can be turned. All right, Bervyn, back to you.
Thanks, Joey. All right. Okay, so what is the last stock that I want to cover? I think, okay, let's do the one that I think nobody have asked for, surprisingly, nobody else, DBS and STI. I think just now Joey had covered at the start. So just if you're looking for the STI, there is a STI ETF as well. Yeah, but okay, I'll cover DBS. So just let me throw my screen up. All right. So I think DBS very clearly had rebounded very well from that sell down on the 7th of April. Very, very clearly that $36 is a key support level for DBS. But if you're thinking of if prices are heading back down to $36 for you to buy, I think a bit hard lah. There's a bit high expectation. So let's try to look for a little bit of a closer term or a nearer term temporary support that we can actually look out for. I would place a support right around this $42 level. Right now, prices have actually tested it, went up. Previously, it was a resistance, came close to it, tested it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. I think we can say that this is a good support level in the nearer term at least. Prices are in a little, what I like to call a no man's land, where it is not close to a resistance, not really close to a support as well. So I think there are these are two levels to actually watch out for. But I think that nearer term 20 days moving average showing a little bit of strength, finally crossing above the 100 days moving average, finally pointing up again after that sell down. So we are finally seeing that uptrend continue, but we are still being kept under that $45 level. So NG, I'm not too sure if you are still here or not, but if you currently are holding on to some positions, great, good, set some alerts to keep yourself alerted or if prices continue to move up. But if you want to continue buying or you're going to accumulate more, so you may want to just take note that maybe you can place a buy zone close to that $42 level, maybe $42 to $42.50, and of course also a sell zone close to that $45. So I think there is a little bit of a upside if this $45 gives way. So I'll place, let me just do a simple projection right now, move it up. I think upside towards that maybe $49 level could be a good possible move for discounter as well, because I think pretty much since the start of this year, this $45 level has been tested a few times already. So with that 1 GT bullish signal still playing out since 23rd of April, if we're able to see another 1 GT bullish signal coming out, if that $45 level becomes a new support, yes, then maybe that is another zone more a little bit more aggressive, being a breakout strategy. So that is something you can consider as well. So I think in this case, what I want to do is not just set some alerts. I want to set some 1GT, one GT signal, 1GT alerts as well. So in that sense, if there's another new 1GT bullish signals that came out, you will then receive an alert. So potentially that could give you a more upside as well. All right. So I think DBS very clear cut. Still one of those blue chips that many people are looking to accumulate on the dips. So can continue to monitor for this. All right, Z, maybe passing the time back to you for the last stop for today.
All right, thank you, Bervyn. Let me just share my screen very quickly over here. And I think the last stock, right, that I'll be covering today is by Gurmit, right? Gurmit is asking about Lendlease. So you bought at 50 cents long time ago, now in a downtrend. Sell off what price? So at least, okay, now in a downtrend, we take a look at the trend. Just take a look at the moving average. Do you think it's a downtrend? I would say, yeah, because why the blue is above the red and above the green and it's all pointing down, right? Downtrend, yeah, that answers your question, right? This stock is currently, yes, in a downtrend, right? And if we take a look at the bigger picture, right, from the previous year, past 2 years, prices is making lower highs, right? That's another sign of downtrend intact, right? So downtrend is definitely intact. So now your question is sell off what price, right? At least you never ask what price to actually buy, because we don't want to buy in a downtrend, right? So now you are thinking, okay, where to actually sell off, right? So now where is the key support level that we want to take note of, right? The key support level that we want to take note of will be around this level right over here, the 44 cents to about this 45 cents, right? This is where we actually saw buyers came back in, right over here on somewhere in November 2023, and then over here as well, right, very recently in April, where buying pressure came back in to support the prices, right? So this is one of the very, very crucial support level that I would take note of, right? Because if prices is unable to hold above this 44 cents, 45 cents, right, definitely the likelihood of us seeing prices heading lower is actually higher, right? It's actually higher if it's unable to hold above this key support level. So one thing that I want to reiterate for the rest of you who are still here, right, is that because I'm not too sure, Gurmit, when do you actually bought this? You say you bought at 50 cents, right? But then if you bought at 50 cents somewhere in this like 2020, 2021 period, right, somewhere around this 50 cents, wow, price went all the way up to 72 cents, but did not take any action, right? So actually you were sitting on profits, but profits, if did not take any action, prices, the trend actually reversed, come back down, and now probably sitting on losses. So a bit sayang, right? You'll feel like, a bit wasted, right? So one thing that we always tell our clients is that don't just buy the stock, right, and leave it there and don't do anything, right? At least take active steps to protect your profits, especially if the stock is going up, right? If the stock is going up. But some may argue that, but this is a REIT counter, I've been collecting dividends along the way. But wouldn't it be better if you can collect dividends along the way, but also get capital growth, rather than you collect dividends, but then the stock keep going down, and then you collect dividend, but on one hand, your capital is actually going down. Not so good, right? Not so good. So that's one thing about dividend stock. We don't just want to buy dividend stock just because you just want to collect dividends. We also want to look at the trend, which comes back to my point whereby for this counter, Lendlease REIT, at this point in time, the trend is not looking that well, right? It's going down, and the key support level that we are looking at is at 44 cents. Immediate resistance, of course, hopefully price, able to consolidate, head back up, right? This 60 cents would be one of the immediate resistance that we are looking at as well, because right over here, we can see selling pressure coming back in. Here, same thing as well. So 60 cents would be one of the immediate resistance that perhaps, you might want to set some price alert, right? And if prices is able to hold above this 44 cents, consolidate before heading back up. But I'm not too sure how long would that take, right? I'm not too sure how long would that take, but definitely keep a lookout for these two levels, 44 cents and also 60 cents for Lendlease REIT. All right. So that would be all for Lendlease. I'll pass the time back over to Joey to actually cover our bonus stock for today.
All right, thank you so much, Z. So let me go ahead to move on to the bonus stock for today. All right, so I think today, guys, we have covered quite a fair bit. We have covered like a total of 18 stocks, right? 18 stocks. Very quickly, I'll just go and say it very quickly. All right, just one more time. We covered the S&P 500 index, the STI, CNMC, Goldmine, Singtel, Centurion, SIA Engineering, Yangzijiang Financial Holding, Riverstone, SIA, LHN, Geo Energy, Shing Xang, SGX, SETS, Seatrium, IFast, Haw Par, Bumitama Agri, DBS, and Zee just covered the Lendlease REIT. So these are the 18 stocks. I hope that these are stocks that you guys want covered. As I say, our apologies if we cannot cover all of it, right? And hopefully you can join us in the next session as well, next Friday. So next week will be US, next week will be Singapore as well. So you can join us again and hopefully we can cover your stock, right? So I think let's take a look at some of the comments like Gurmeet, right? I think Zee covered, should have taken profits at the right time, good learning point. So as I say, guys, whatever that we've shared today, right? I think some of you have learned a little bit on the one good trend strategy, or maybe you have seen how the one good trend pro indicator actually works, right? Based on the bullish and bearish signals, based on some of the advanced features that we turn on as well, like the trailing support and all that, all right? So if you want to find out, as I say, you want to find out a bit more about the entire strategy, the one good trend strategy, that pretty much is the backbone of the indicator that we have been talking about over the past 2 hours, right? You want to go ahead to attend a free webinar, all right? The link is already in the chat, not to worry, it's right there. Click on the link in the chat, you'll come to this page right over here. So we actually have a last webinar just next week, all right, 27th of May. So this is a page, you click on it, you come to this page right here, 27 May, next Tuesday, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. on Zoom. You don't have to travel anywhere, you can be in your pajamas at home, all right? Right over here, check it out. And this is pretty much what we're covering, the entire one good trend strategy. And one of the things that we'll cover as well, that I think a lot of people, kind of like ask me as well, how do we actually filter out the top 1% of stock? So essentially, we have been covering your stocks, right? I mean, you want ask what, then we just cover, right? But is that the top 1%, top 5%, top 10%, or maybe last 10%? All right. So what is the top 1% that we want to even think about buying and selling, right? But that's what exactly I'll share as well in terms of this webinar. I'll share with you guys how to actually use this screener to pull out those stocks before even thinking about buying or selling them, right? Based on the one GT Pro indicator. So right away here, how do we scan the market in under 5 seconds to filter out the top 1% of stocks in the Singapore and the US market? So that would be the webinar. The link in the chat. Check it out. Click on it. And that's where we will share more with you. So yeah, Gurmeet, I think like what Zee has mentioned, right? I think we have worked with thousands of our clients, even our mentees as well. And some of the mistakes that we see is that many people actually kind of like hold on to stocks. And when we look at some of their portfolio, it's like they hold on to stocks that are going lower and lower, and in a downtrend. So we don't want to do that. You also want to know how to get out. All right. I mean, getting in is easy, like just buy, get in, right? But when to get out, I think that's key as well. You don't want to, from profits then become small profits, then worse become loss, then become big loss, right? So we don't want that to happen. And that's exactly what I'll share a little bit in the webinar as well, right? So even you're talking about, is REITs is giving dividend. But if we look at the stock, it's going down every other week or every other day. And you tell me you give 5% dividend or 4% dividend, and then but it's like in a downtrend, then I think a bit no point. I think you can keep your dividend, it's okay, right? I mean, what's the point of the price going down and then you give me dividend, right? So we don't do that as well. We want to go for stocks which are giving dividend, maybe slightly lesser, but there's a potential to move even higher. Does it make sense? All right. So that is a bit on the strategy part as well. All right. So I hope you guys have learned something as well. So now let me go ahead to talk about the stocks that you guys, pretty much the bonus stocks that we like. All right. 3 of us, 3 bonus stocks that we share with you guys. And I would want to share with you guys this same stock as well. So I've been covering this stock called Food Empire. The code is F03, right? One of the stocks that came to watch this, I would say since the beginning of the year, somewhere around February, March, we got some alerts from my one GT Pro indicator, and it's pushed higher. So I think the previous 2 weeks back plus a month back, we talked about it as well right over here. So let me just go to turn on the one GT Pro indicator based on the bullish and bearish signals. Pump, there we go, right? So I'll not go too far because we have covered it before, but you can see, right, we got a bullish signal in 2024 last year. There we go. Bearish came down. But it started to really wake up, I would say, somewhere around end of February. Right over here, to be exact, is the 26th of February, right? Before that, it was quite boring if you ask me. I mean, I probably would not look at it because I was not alerted then. But, somewhere around like 26th of February, right? We got a one GT bullish signal. And the green 20 days moving average line, that was like flat for don't know how long, right? I mean, like almost 7 months, 8 months flat, very boring, right? Well, it started to point up. All right, that would be another confirmation that this short-term trend has woken up, right? From flat, it started to point back up. That's a good thing, right? Of course, plus the bullish signal came out. So there we go, all the way up. A bearish signal. Oh, this one was so on that day, whenever I see this 7th April, 4th April, that would be the tariff day. Almost every stock also broke support, bearish signal appeared. All right. So yeah, we did sell now, we got a bearish signal, but you can see that this bullish signal actually started to play out all the way to here. All right. And 2 weeks later, well, after the bearish signal, after the whole tariffs sell down, right? Well, we got a new 1 GT bullish signal. So I'm not too sure exactly when would the previous, AMAS live session, but I covered it the past 2 sessions. Maybe somewhere around here. All right, so you've got in great, you've gone up, gone up, gone up, gone up. And now from about 130, now it's about 176, $1.76. So not too bad. I think from here all the way to here, about a 37%, right? In about a month plus. Pretty okay, right? Pretty okay. So congrats to those of you who have got in. But let's take a look at it right now. If can still get in or not, right? Is it still looking good or not, right? Let's find out. So I would say that right now, what I could do is that I could draw a little bit of a horizontal support level. So you can see the short-term trend, obviously, this green line is still pointing up. The longer-term trend, the red and blue is still pointing up, so quite okay. Short-term, I would say there would be a horizontal support level, maybe just right around the $1.70, right? Around 170. Seems like over the past 1 over week, a couple of rebounds from here. You can see, right? Rebound. Now we're still above this 170 as well. A bit of resistance, maybe at $1.80 level, $1.80. You can see, right? That was where we saw a bit of a profit taking. We actually went up to above 180. We got an upper shadow in terms of the candlestick. So that's a little bit on candlestick as well. That's one part of our checklist for the entire one good trend strategy. We don't have time to cover everything, but basically, yeah, I mean, we did see a bit of a profit taking near 180. So that could be the range, 170 to 180, right? So I think we can hold above 170 is still okay. But if I can quickly turn on the 1 GT Pro indicator, the advanced feature, that would be the trailing support and resistance pump. There we go, right? You can see based on this bullish signal, we got the trailing support popping up, right? It give it space to move up, hopefully move up higher, all right? It accounts for the volatility as well. And it's moving up, right? Because it's moving up, so you follow it, go up, right? So follow. And now it's right over here near the 156 or maybe 160 level, right? So I think that is where it accounts for the space. So I think anything, if you want to give more allowance, will be 160, but I don't know whether you drop to 160. Seems like 170. It has came out as a little bit of a horizontal support level already over the past 1 over week, right? But I think so far, it looks quite okay, quite good, above that 160 to maybe even above that $1.70. All right, so that would be for Food Empire, pretty much the first bonus stock I shared today that we have covered over the past few AMAS Singapore session. Seems pretty good. Let's see if it can break 180 to push even higher. Targets could be revised then to $2 or maybe even $2.20. All right, so that's the first bonus stock. Bervyn, I'll put the mic back to you to cover your bonus stock for today.
Thanks, Joey. All right. Okay, so that's the first bonus stock. My bonus stock, I think by now, everybody should roughly be able to guess it already. We missed a couple of comments. I think Jing Long was asking. I think Styler was also asking about it just now, right? Sembcorp. So you have actually bought into the bonus stock previously that we have covered. Great. Okay, so where is it headed now? Where is Sembcorp? What is Sembcorp looking like at this point? I think that 2-1 GT bullish signal from cover from one of our last sessions is still valid. It's still valid, and that $5.60 support is still holding. You do not see any signs of the prices coming down. A new support has in fact been formed around that 650 level at the same time. I mean, but we are pretty much consolidating at this level as of now. Haven't pushed anywhere close to that $7 psychological resistance just yet, but that 20 days moving average looking very good at this point, pointing up steeply. That 100 days, 200 days moving average, I think needless to say, it is looking good as well. Still pointing up gradually. We see like what we call like sometimes a textbook uptrend. Prices moving up in a new phase, consolidating for a little bit, being kept under a resistance, push higher, consolidate again, and push higher again. So this is a very textbook uptrend counter. So it's a good thing. So sometimes simple is better as well. So right now, I think the upside to $7 is still pretty much intact. But what happens after this, or if prices are able to consolidate and break above into a new phase, I think prices could head up towards that 750 level. That 750 level would be the next, would show like a next phase of this uptrend. But we want prices, or we want the counter to consolidate, then move up, not just immediately moving higher and higher and higher and higher, because that gives you like a safety net if prices start to come down, like you see on this day, on the 7th of April, like Joey said, everything has sold down. But previously, as that support had formed close to that 560 level, it was respected as well. So it can help you in the period of a sell down as well if the support had previously been formed very firmly as well. All right. Okay. So then I think right now, if Styler, you are thinking, hey, should I be selling? I think if you are looking to sell, I think somewhere closer to that $7 level to take some profits, to reduce a little bit of exposure if you like. Do not want to have too much exposure towards this counter anymore. I think some selling or some profit taking towards the $7 level, completely okay. All right, so your cost price is about $3.70. So I mean, you're sitting on very, very good profits as well. So I would suggest perhaps also one thing you could also do, like I've said many times in this session, use that trailing support. Use that trailing support to ride the trend. So just placing your stop limit orders right below that trailing support would give you continued exposure as long as prices continue to push upwards. So, but for those who are looking to get in, is it a good time to get in? I think prices are very close to that 650 support, right in that buy zone at the same time. So, this is also a good sign or a good window if you like to get in, but of course, a little bit more cautious. Have those stop loss orders in place in case prices turn down, because nobody can guarantee you that prices will continue to hit higher and higher and higher and higher. So we want to maximize our profit while also minimizing our losses if we take any at the same time. All right, so I think Sembcorp industry still looking good at this point, still will be on our watch list as well. So I'll pass the time now to Z to cover the last bonus stock for today.
All right, thank you, Bervyn. Okay, so the last stock that I'm gonna be sharing today, and it is on my watch list. The bonus stock that I want to share will be ST Engineering, none other than ST Engineering. Okay, so for those of you, this stock has been on my watch list, and maybe you're one for a while now if you have been joining our AMES since like February, right? So and there's a good reason to this, because the trend of the stock, if you just take a look at it, it is definitely still looking pretty solid, right? So when the market is in uncertainty, choppy up and down, ST Engineering is kind of like one of those rare counters that has been showing consistent strength, right? And if we can see from over here, right, on this day, on 13th of May, we actually saw, prices came back down. There's a very long red bearish candle, but prices rebounded back up very, very quickly in the next week or so. So that is the consistent strength that I'm talking about since, February, as we can see right over here. Same thing happened right over here. Price dipped down and then price went all the way back up again. And all these green lines are actually the levels that we have analyzed previously as well during our AMS bonus session. And I've left it there so that we can actually see that price have been consistently breaking resistance and turning the resistance to become support. So basically, price has been finding higher support along the way, right? And from the very first 1GT bullish signal that came out on this 23rd of January, we're all the way to where we are at now. So in about 5 months, price have risen over about 60%. So that is fantastic, right? Fantastic gains in just 5 months, right? And at this point in time, there is still no 1GT bearish signal coming out yet. And as you can see right over here, I think some of you guys, I saw in the comment just now, Southton, right, was actually asking, ST Engineering can sell. Then Lam was actually asking, ST Engineering can accumulate. So there are some people, of course, that will think about selling, right? If you have bought pretty early on, you'll be thinking about, okay, where can I potentially take profits? But of course, there are also people that, wow, hey, this stock also not too bad. I want to think about entering, but where can I potentially enter, right? So let me talk about some of the levels, right, for this ST Engineering that potentially you can take note of. Okay, so first thing first, support level that we are actually looking at, the new higher support level that has been found will definitely be at this $7 level right over here. And this green box, right, this green shaded box that you have seen me drawn right over here was actually left there since the previous session. So this is the area that potentially we can think about positioning ourselves for entry, right? We want to buy near a support level. That's part of the 1GT framework. So like what Joey mentioned, if you want to know more about the framework, right, definitely attend one of the upcoming webinars. All right. So potential zone of entry near this $7. So for those of you who have, gotten in, on this day somewhere over here, right, I'm pretty sure now you are also sitting on some profits, right? About, 6-7% profit if you have gotten in somewhere here. And now price is actually trading at, about 747, right? So immediate resistance, we have drawn right over here is about 750. So over the past couple of weeks, right, somewhere in the early May, 7, 8, 9 May, right over here, we can see that price is actually indeed testing the 750. There are days whereby price actually close above 750, but we don't just want price to close above. We want price to close and firmly hold above it, turning that 750 right from a resistance to become a support before we can see another leg higher up into this particular stock, right? So it is testing, which is okay, but it is not holding above it yet, right? It's not holding above it yet. And right now, price is once again retesting this 750 level, right? So 750 will be a resistance. So for Selston, right, you're thinking about, when can you sell, right? If you have bought, somewhere early on, somewhere in March or February or even April, right, you are probably already sitting on profits. So as part of the 1GT framework and strategy, we want to sell near a resistance, right? There's nothing wrong to sell near a resistance. So like what I'll mention again, if you are thinking about taking some profits, there is nothing wrong to sell near the resistance near the 750 level. But of course, if you want to actually continue to actually ride the uptrend, maximize your profits, one thing that you can definitely use would be the trailing support and resistance function, which I will just click a button here, turn it on. Okay, and this is the green trailing support line that we can see, right? And what Joey mentioned earlier on, it accounts for the volatility. It will move up as the price continues to move up. So one way that we can actually think about maximizing our profit while riding the trend is actually, place your stop limit order, right? Which is, the stop limit order to protect your downside, right? And when price move up, your stop limit order continues to move up like this, right? And this is one way whereby you can actually maximize your profits while continue to ride the uptrend, and you can also at the same time protect your downside. So if prices were to actually dip and hit your stop limit order, would you still get out with a profit? Yes, you probably would still be getting out with a profit, even though if let's say you got in somewhere at March and then price came back down and then hit your, your stop loss order right over here, you would still get out with your profits, right? And essentially that is like a risk-free trade, right? So that is one thing that you can potentially do if you are thinking about continue riding the uptrend. I don't want to sell at 750 first. Then that's where you can actually make use of this trailing support function. Okay, so and if prices, okay, so targets are targets, and if prices can break and hold above the 750, right, the next target definitely where we are looking at will be at this $8 level, right? $8 psychological resistance. And how do we get this $8? It is also from a projection upwards from this range right over here, as you can see, moving it up. $8 level would be the next target that we are looking at. Okay, so this would be for SIA Engineering. I still really like this stock. It's definitely still in our watch list. If you like it, you can place it in your watch list as well, and we can relook at it again probably in the next few AMS session, right? If this stock is still doing really well. Okay, so I'll pass the time back over to Joey to actually close off today's session.
All right, thank you so much, Zee. All right, so let me go ahead. I think we have pretty much come to the end of today's session already. All right, so thank you so much for joining us. The three bonus stock, right? Just do a quick recap. The three bonus stock would be Food Empire, that's by me. All right, and Bervyn covered Sembcorp Industry, and Zee just covered ST Engineering. So you want to put these stocks in your watch list, guys. We hope you have got value on today's session. Thank you so much for all of you who have been joining us every Friday. All right, let's see. Sabraju, thank you so much. All right, Gurmit, only became aware of up and down trends since following your webinars. Awesome, right? Great that you learned something today also on my webinar. So guys, you can attend one of those free webinars, the links above, check it out. If you got value in today, just type a V, guys, type a V for value. If you have got value, you have learned something based on the signals, based on the strategy, based on the stocks that you've covered, just type V for value. Let us know. All right, thank you so much. We have Jason here over as well. All right, so by the way, guys, I mean, we covered some of the stocks that you guys were asking about, and even the bonus stocks, right? These stocks were actually some of those stocks, I mean, the good ones, obviously, right? We actually shared it with our clients in Philips Securities, where all of us are brokers, right? So as I say, right, if you actually, I'm not too sure. Maybe just let me know, let us know over here. How many of you actually are clients of mine in Philips Securities? You actually have a trading account under me. This type of C for client, guys. Value. Thank you so much. Value, Farine, Janet, value. But if you are a client of mine in Philips Securities, this type of C for client. So I don't know how many of you are clients over here. Client, value. Thank you so much, Cynthia. So thank you so much, guys. If you are already a client of mine in Philips Securities, you've got our daily updates. Kemi, Victor, Fiona. All right. Thank you so much, BC. Great. All right. Thanks so much for your support as well, guys. Really appreciate it. All right. And for those of you who are not yet a client of mine, all right, in Philips Securities, like many of our clients over here, you're just scrolling through Facebook, YouTube. I probably covered your stock. You also have no idea why I covered your stock, but you want to check out how you can become a VIP client of mine in Philips Securities for free. All right, you can have a free trading account. And why do you want to do that? Well, essentially, if you want to get some of those top ideas by WhatsApp daily for free and no additional cost. And some of the stocks that we covered was like Food Empire, I think Singtel as well, that somebody asked, ST Engineering, SIA, and Centurion, and some of the top stocks. This was actually covered by WhatsApp, shared with our clients as it happened over the past couple of months, right? So you can get one of those ideas live by WhatsApp daily for free. All right, if you're not getting any service from your own broker, all right, you probably have a trading account to buy and sell stock, but you don't get any service from a broker. Nobody send you anything, no idea, no video, no WhatsApp, don't even know who the person is. It's like hotline or something. Then you click on the link there and you find out a bit more, right? And you click on the link, you'll come to this page right over here. All right, and let me go to share my screen. That would be where I would say there's this page right over here where stop guessing. Stop guessing. Get exclusive SG stock ideas, insights from a daily top stockbroker and trader. So this is a page, you can find out a bit more, all right, what exactly you'll be getting, everything you get as a VIP client of mine, all right, the details are over there. Check out what some of my clients are saying as well, all right, so that is the link in the chat. You want to check it out, all right. So yeah, that's it, guys. I want to share that in case some of you are wondering how to actually get some of those ideas by WhatsApp, top ideas for free daily. That is the link, right? So thank you so much. We'll see you guys. All right, we've pretty much come to the end of today's session. Thank you so long. All right, value. So we hope to see you in the next Friday AMAS session. For next Friday, guys, I will not be around. I'll be on leave, unfortunately, but not to worry. I think next Friday we will have, I think we'll be covering the US, all right, the US market. So join us next Friday. Bervyn and Zee will be the one conducting and running and leading the session. I'll be away. School holidays, right? So I'll be away, but they will do the best to cover your US stocks and also 2 US stocks that we shared at the end as well. All right, so thank you. Bye, everyone. Hope to see you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Bye-bye. Have a good weekend. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.